Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry to leave you hanging. I was out for about 2 or 3 weeks there. Fortunately, I didn't miss anything of any real significance or importance.
Donald Trump will become the 47th president of the United States.
Donald Trump has won the presidency.
It is now official. CNN projects that Donald Trump has been elected president, defeating Vice President Kamala Harris and making a political comeback unlike any.
Oh, yeah. There's that. Good news, bad news situation here, ladies and gentlemen. Good news is America's gonna be great again. Bad news.
Donald Trump announced he will appoint Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz, who is investigated by the Justice Department for sex trafficking and obstruction of justice, as the next Attorney General.
Look, the people have spoken. I guess all we can do now is come together and hope for the best. Speaking of coming together, 60 million people tuned in to Netflix last Saturday to watch the Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight. Did you guys watch this nonsense? Yeah. It was free, and I still want my money back. I haven't seen a white guy beat up on a brother that bad since Larry Bird was in the NBA. Shit, my guy Mike, come on, man. Mike was out there looking like Lieutenant Dan. No legs. Shit, Iron Mike, more like aluminum. On to something even more near and dear to my heart, UFOs. That's right, there was a UAP Congressional Hearing. Shit, only thing I want to be hearing is
there is intelligent life.
Imagine ancient civilizations thinking that they were the only ones on the planet Earth. Meanwhile, we're still contemplating and debating whether or not we're alone in the universe. E.T.'s rolling over in his grave. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the monologue. Thank you so much for being here. We got a great show coming up. Stay tuned. We testing the game.
In the chat, and please, you're a wizard, Harry. You're a wizard. You've been holding back on me. I'm going up like Hakeem. Funko Pop, shout out. Come on, that's unfiltered. The truth about oysters. Give it to him. So I did that. Yup, I did. R&B, baby. He delivers. Get your popcorn ready. Ladies and gentlemen, we testing the game. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, yeah. No BS, OBS, camera zoomed in, and the chat is lit. Stay tuned in, like Zach Morris got detention, like the cool kids. I do this, homie. I thought you knew this. If you didn't, now you do. Had to prove it. Thanks for watching. What's everybody's favorite topic? Leave a comment in the chat and refrain from gossip. Stop it, if you hating, there's no debating, promise. I'm going up like Hakeem. I can't wait to block ya. Nah, dawg, cause this a party. Get your popcorn ready, we about to get it started. I'm super grateful, thank you all for being with me. How we looking, am I good? Sitting pretty. I'm elated that y'all would take time to kick it with me. Cause I ain't famous and I'm grateful for the subs you giving. Shout out to Shadow, I know my guy is always listening. And I appreciate the bits, fire emoji pimpin'. Let's get it, I'ma give you what you came to see. Please hit the follow button for me, we can proceed. R&B, Child's High, class of 03. Shout out to everybody back home. And anybody that's in the stream. Cheers! Testing the game. Oh yeah. Let's go! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Sorry for the hiatus. I know. We were gone for 2 weeks there. And ladies and gentlemen, we got some special individuals in the chat, so I gotta do this right off rip. Love y'all. Got a Superman Benz that I scored from Shaq with an old school caddy. Said his diamonds in the chat. Oh yeah. Thank y'all so much for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, for any, I guess it's just the two of y'all, huh? Shout out, major shout out to Arrow Rising for penning those jokes. And not only that, he edited that entire monologue, and the rough cut is nothing compared to the final product. So one more time, man, thank you so much. He says, we gotta post it to Instagram because nobody saw it. And that's all right. As a reminder, when we finish, the live,
we do download it and upload it to YouTube. So check us out on YouTube. If you know, you know. Shout out to you, Mom. I see ya. I'm gonna do this for you, girl.
Her name is Chucha. She's getting lit up in the chat.
We've got some cool things happening today. Sadly, though, let's just go on ahead and rip the Band-Aid off. There's no Anthony's part of the show. I know. And to defend my guy, listen, it's a lot for him to not only shoot and edit those, but also to write and edit our new monologue. So cut him some slack. He says, I got it in the holster. I'm your Huckleberry. Well, look, no stress. The other truth is, we're not going to be here next week either. No, I'm traveling for work, as a matter of fact. I'm going to Bergen. How about that for the first time? Never been to Bergen, so I'm very much looking forward to that. But even more so, it's our company holiday party. Yeah, so shout out to H5P Group one time. Yeah, repping hard in the chat. And it says Bergen King. Bergen King. Not bad, bro. Not bad. I bet that plays out there. You know what I'm saying? Because we got Burger King in Norway. So I bet that plays. But looking forward to being with the team. And yet, because I'll be traveling back home to Tromsø from Bergen on Saturday, I won't be able to live stream. But that's all right. We'll pick things up as soon as we can. All right. And if you're wondering, well, where you been for the last 2 weeks, man? Well, sadly, I got sick. Yeah. There was a bad flu going around here, and a bunch of my colleagues and friends got it, and it got me too. Bang. I was out for the count for about 2 weeks. What are you going to do? The first week was kind of the sickness, and the second week was like still recovering, just not feeling 100%. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry for the delay this morning. We tried to go live an hour ago, but there is so much that goes on in putting these shows together. Y'all don't even know. So what we do have today, ladies and gentlemen, is a mega movie review. So stay tuned for that. And when I say a mega movie review, if R&B sees 5 movies, series, titles, programs, or more, that's what a mega movie review is. And certainly today. So I had 2 weeks, so you can imagine the movie's stacked up. So here we go. And it says, this man went from 3PH to H5P. Ain't that a bitch? My man. Believe it or not, I have thought about that many, many times. And I love it. I love the acronym. And I'll tell y'all more about H5P and what it means. People ask me all the time, what does it stand for? I guess I'll tell you now, since I've teed it up. H5P stands for HTML5 package. All right? So there's that. Chucha says, say it ain't so. No Anthony's part of the show. I know. But you know what we do have in acknowledgement? Shout out to you, bro.
I'm Anthony. He's Anthony. It's Anthony's part of the show.
Yeah. Love that soundbite. Love the segment. It's okay. Don't worry. Some of the feedback that I've received in recent weeks was, man, 3 hours is kind of a lot, bro. Maybe you just talk about a couple of movies, you know what I'm saying? So one of the things that doesn't hurt us in not having an additional segment when we have so many films is that it'll probably save us a little bit of time. I recognize many of you all are trying to get on with your lives and your Saturday, you know what I'm saying? And Anthony's contributing in the chat. He says, write, edit monologue, 2 new, what? Russ sound bites? What does that mean? Well, once he enters the chat, we'll go on and give an acknowledgement. I will take this opportunity to remind everyone that at the start of this season, we hosted a keyword giveaway. And the theme of the contest was, you can take it, meaning the money, or you can double it and give it to the next winner. And so every week we were doubling the money. And at the end of the contest, and it ended when one of our winners chose to take the money, my guy, Russ Barber, he was our lucky winner. And he is so sweet. He decided to give $50 to 2 of our most loyal and supportive
viewers if you were community members. I know. So he gave some of his winnings to both Arrow Rising and Shadow 1311. And in doing that, my guy Ant wanted to give back to Russ, and so now Russ, foreshadowing, has his own sound bites. So I can't wait to play those. But Dad, you gotta be here for me to do that. So come on in, man. The water is fine. All right? Ant says, making a living, going to the gym, disc golf, giving Veronica the attention she deserves. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Look, dog, I know it's a lot, man. If I'm spending 3 to 4 hours just putting this show together, editing, shooting, writing videos and monologues, it's a lot, dog. Hats off to you. And one more time, man.
Thank you. Far too kind.
We so appreciate it. But I hope you dug, those of you, Mom, and those of you that saw the monologue, I hope you dug it. I certainly love it. I think it's a wonderful new way to kick off the show. And I'm still excited to do cold opens if Ant can come up with some simple concepts that I can shoot and he can edit. But the monologue thing is really cool. So it's in keeping with late night talk shows and comedians that we look up to. And ladies and gentlemen, Russ Barber's in the chat. Dad, I got something special for you, man. Check this out. I hope you dig it. What's his name?
R-U-S-S.
Yeah! Come on! It's pretty epic. That's pretty epic. And there may be 1 or 2 more gems out there, but I'm just gonna feel it out, you know what I'm saying? But I hope you dug that. If you could hear it, let us know. And says, saving the better one for last. Actually, I don't know which is my favorite. You did a great job, man. We're giving you a lot of shine today, Arrow Rising, but you deserve it, bro. What I was gonna say was, I have said for years that Anthony is brilliant and a comedic genius, and I encourage him. Chucha says that was awesome. Let's go! I have encouraged him to pursue comedy in a professional sense, whether it's writing, whether it's stand-up, him performing it, someone else. I'm happy to be the one. I feel lucky to have someone who can come up with jokes. That's not my skill set, so I think we're a great team. But the jokes are so good, and this is true. We've actually heard at least one of the jokes that you heard in the monologue on this show used by another very famous, very popular.
I'm your Huckleberry.
And that's just my gang. Let's get it. So it's just a long way of saying that it lends credit to his ability to do that. So one more time, shout out to you, Ant. Proud of you, dog. Ant also says, early stages, we need feedback on the monologue early. That's why posting it on Instagram is best for the feedback. I respect that. I respect it. My question to you is, so, you know, Instagram is a vertical platform and the monologue is widescreen, right? 16:9 versus the 9:16. How you like me now? So are we gonna reformat the video so that it appears better vertically, or we're just gonna post it and it'll just be a small square? I know that if you do that, then there's spaces, forgive all the hand movements, gang signs. There's spaces above, gotta laugh at my own jokes, and below, you know what I'm saying? So like, how will it look on Instagram? I'm happy to post it, I'm proud of it, except for the color grading, sadly, and that's my bad. We won't get into that. Ant says, you can still post it horizontal. It's not too bad for something like that. Many major accounts do it. All right, cool. Well, shout out to you. I guess that's what I'll do. When we conclude, I'll say, for anybody that missed today's show, want to give a shout out for the monologue. All right, and we'll definitely give you your due shine. Some additional credit I want to give, if I may. Ladies and gentlemen, the last time that we were all together, it was an amazing episode for a couple of reasons. We had a hype train, bang, yeah. So a couple of new followers joined the chat, and I think we had a few new subscriptions, and not for nothing, even though I know I say that a lot, we have another new follower above. Ladies and gentlemen, my guy, Spion. Spion's one of the homies upstairs. He's the neighbor. So shout out to you, man. Appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. You're far too kind.
But yeah, and as a reward, if you will, for unlocking a level 2 hype train, we also have a brand new emoji that was just used in the chat by none other than Chucha.
Her name is Chucha. She's getting lit up in the chat.
And she says she loves the monologue. Thank you so much, Mom. Appreciate the love. Appreciate that love, girl. Right on cue.
So, kicking things off, getting right into the guts of the show. Pause.
That's what she said.
I don't think so, Mike. One of my favorite segments is an opportunity to tell you all about something that I think is cool, noteworthy, maybe newsworthy, and today I think it's all of the above. So if you're a fan of the show, you know that this segment is called Putting You on the Game. That's right, putting you on the game. And today, I'm really putting some of y'all on the game. Now, I'm hoping, and sadly, I wish I had gone live last week. This would have been more topical. At the same time, I'm hopeful that maybe some people aren't aware, and you're about to be, or maybe you heard about it, but you didn't see so much of what I'm about to talk about. So, without further ado, what this is, ladies and gentlemen, as you might have heard in the monologue, on November 13th, there was, y'all ready? A U.S. UAP Congressional Hearing. What does that mean, Rye? Well, I'm going to tell you, I took notes so that I can speak intelligently about all this. Now, appreciate, sometimes we put on our tinfoil hats and we talk about things that I've seen on TikTok or whatever. Okay? Now, yes, I have seen many clips off TikTok as it relates to what I'm about to tell you. But this is real news happening in the U.S. government, okay? Now, I didn't do too much research, but wait for it. If I'm not mistaken, last year in 2023, we had the first UAP Congressional Hearing, which is where individuals of notoriety talk about, and I'll tell you, I don't know that I love UAP. It used to be UFO. Right? Unidentified flying objects. Now it's UAP. And I'm confident I wrote down what that means somewhere. Yeah, unidentified anomalous phenomena. It's a phenomenon. All right, so what this is, the U.S. Congress held a significant hearing, as I shared with you, on November 13th, just a week or so ago, focusing on unidentified anomalous phenomenon, or UAPs, amid growing public demand for transparency on the issue. Chucha Barber says, "Your mama always told you the aliens were here." She really did. She really did. Imagine being a kid growing up, right? And your mom is she doesn't just tell you, yeah, aliens are real. She's like, no, son, they're real. And she, like, you know, gives you that mom look where she's trying to tell you, I'm not bullshitting with you, son. This is really what I think. And so you just adopt that philosophy. And so you go to school and tell other kids, and then they call the principal. It's all bad when you're really young. But I respect it and I appreciate you, Mom, because I agree. I think they're out there. Aunt says, "You down with the UAP?" Yeah, you know me. Matter of fact, I think it goes with this beat. All right, moving on. Let me throw up an image that I have for you. So here you go. It's a real thing. This is a real thing. One more time. The U.S. Congress held a congressional hearing, and these individuals who were holding up their hands and taking the oath, so to speak, swearing under oath, they're about to give some testimony. And says, "Little Rod just trying to enjoy Men in Black." You know what I mean? Mom's like, "No, this is a documentary." Hey, good one, bro. All right. I'm going to give you some key highlights. I'm going to tell you about some things that the government's saying and doing. Tell you about some national security concerns. And then talk a little bit about criticism. And then I'll play you the clip, okay? I took an excerpt from one of these individuals' testimony because when I saw it originally, that was when I thought to myself, okay, they're finally going to tell us something. All right, now let's go ahead and just get it out the way. They don't tell us much of anything, okay? That's the real truth. That's the real truth, sadly. It feels like they're piecemealing us, you know? Like they have something to say, but I don't know what the MO is for not telling us, but they're just gonna give us little bits of information, maybe over the course of several years, I don't know. So I'll tell you more about it and we'll talk more about it. Ant says, "My comments are coming in like a full minute later. I'm gonna close out and refresh." Damn. I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully it's nothing on my end. Do let me know if there's anything we can do to fix it. All right. So, some key highlights from this hearing. Y'all ready? Witnesses, including ex-intelligence officer Luis Elizondo. One time. And let's pause. What I love most, perhaps, is the credibility of these individuals giving their testimony. Okay? This isn't Joe Schmo off the street. I was abducted by an alien, right? This ain't that. No. These are credited individuals. I'll tell you more about them. Here we go. So once more, ex-intelligence officer Luis Elizondo, journalist Michael Schellenberger. I guess I got to read the notes as I thought I was going to intro them all. I'm not. Sorry. Here we go. What they alleged is that the Pentagon program, Immaculate Constellation, so this is the name of a Pentagon program essentially, has been secretly gathering and concealing UAP evidence for decades. There are claims included in their reports of crash retrievals, advanced technology, and even, y'all ready for this? This is the key word. Non-human biologics, allegedly recovered during several incidents. So non-human biologics, do you think that's their way of telling us aliens? I'm not convinced of that, because non-human biologics could essentially be anything that's non-human. I would imagine that includes animals, fish, perhaps insects, and other things. So the verdict is still out as far as what we're really talking about. What I didn't love in watching so much of the hearing, and shout out to the senators, they would ask some hardball questions trying to get more information. But anytime they asked something concrete, the response was typically, I'm not at liberty to discuss that particular issue, ma'am, or that's classified, or I would prefer to have further dialogue behind closed doors privately. And so it was like, right? Come on, if you're gonna tell us. What are we waiting for? Why do we have to wait on it? So I don't know. Here are some details in regards to the government. The Pentagon denies the existence of any such covert program related to UAPs, and they insist that there is no evidence of extraterrestrial activity. I know, I'm a little disappointed there too. NASA also highlighted the importance of scientific inquiry and has emphasized the lack of verified extraterrestrial origins from UAP sightings. So government entities are still holding firm that we don't have any real evidence and there's nothing really going on. So, but I would argue maybe they're the ones who have most reason to say that. I mean, all right. National security concerns. Here we go. Witnesses warn that excessive secrecy could endanger national security and harm public trust. I, for one, don't trust nobody. Chucha's back. She says, people can't handle the truth. I'm not so sure of that. I do think that some people, to your point, probably could not handle it as well as others. But I think for the most part, we can. Many people are receiving this information skeptically, and rightfully so. If we give any truth to what's being said, however, most of us are just like, I already knew that, or already thought that, or I've already lived through a pandemic and we've already, you know what I mean? It's just, it's not earth-shattering anymore, pun intended. It's, okay, aliens are here, cool. Do I still have to go to work on Monday? You know what I'm saying? And the answer is yes, sadly. All right, a little bit more and then I'm gonna play you a clip. And there's an ad break starting in 2.5 minutes. Sorry about that. Ant says, no real evidence there is a God, but most people on Earth believe believe in a God, but other intelligent life in the universe, get out of here, bang. And to that point, I do think that if it ever is revealed, let's call it extraterrestrial life, okay? And let's say an advanced species. It would be naive to think that we were the most advanced in the whole universe. You know what I'm saying? But I do think that would shatter some religious constructs based on, I guess, the limited information that I have pertaining to some of the world's most prominent religions today. Because aliens aren't really mentioned. Unless, of course, angels and aliens, demons and aliens, God and alien, right? Maybe there's some synergies there. I don't know. I think we're all hoping to figure it out, but I agree, Ant. I think it would challenge a lot of religious doctrine and perspective. Ant also says, if they were allowed to have faith in God, then I can have faith in aliens. Testify, brother. You testify. Tell them what's up. All right. A couple more sentiments, and then I'm going to play the clip, and I want you all to hear from one of these individuals directly, because, again, it was that bit of testimony where I thought, this man is very articulate. He seems to be a learned individual. It feels like he knows something, and he's trying to tell us as much as he can, but I'm going to let you all make your own opinions, inferences, and conclusions, all right? And says, yes, there are new archaeological finds that would shatter a lot of the stuff in the Bible. So there is feedback on that, but he digresses. Well, the hand claps to you. Thank you so much for your feedback.
Thank you. Far too kind.
One of the things that excites me a lot is I think we do live in a day and age of information. I don't think there's any argument there. And I also think it's a day and age of the words are escaping me, but it's kind of a collective elevation, if you will. So I wasn't going to jump on this soapbox, but since we're here, I think as a species and a planet, our thoughts and the ability to, manifest collectively is a powerful thing. And I think it's an age of awakening. Perhaps that's what I wanted to say a moment ago. And because of that, I think more and more details, secrets, information are going to be revealed over time. But that's a little heavy. I'm going to get off that box. Pause.
That's what she said.
But I hope y'all dug that for a second. All right. I think collectively we have the ability to do it together. All right. Ant says, LiDAR with drones is changing the game. Cheap plug. You're absolutely right. And I have seen, I've listened to and seen some podcasts related to that. There's some documentaries, I think, on Netflix, as it were, that basically it's a technology that allows us to see beyond what we ever could previously. And so to Ant's point, many ancient artifacts are being discovered. Many ancient lands are now being viewed in a different way from a historical lens. And it's pretty epic. So if you all have the chance to dig into that, pun intended. All right, but in keeping with the topic at hand, UAPs, congressional hearings, here we go. National security concerns. We talked about public trust and the like. Call for transparency. You ready for this? Lawmakers and experts call for systematic transparency. I don't know what that means exactly, but okay. Urging protections for whistleblowers and the development of a national UAP strategy. So people are saying, listen, for individuals who have information, we want to protect y'all, come forward, divulge, we'll protect you. And if there is advanced technologies out there, perhaps that's threatening to us, and we might need to create a defense plan. You know what I'm saying? Now, skeptics have noted the absence of concrete evidence. And that was my gripe, too. There wasn't really anything concrete.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm.
Good one, Mom.
Calm.
What's her name?
Her name is Chucha. She's getting lit up in the chat.
So no physical evidence and no verifiable scientific data presented at the hearing. So that's a real bummer. However, these individuals seem credible and they seem to know some things that the majority don't. And so I'm about to play you all a clip. And again, you can make your own opinions and assumptions, but I hope that some of y'all might not have seen some of this testimony, and perhaps this will be new and informative for you. What are we doing? Putting you on the game. So, reporting live from the U.S. Congressional Hearing.
In the discussions, it's simply about material, or is there discussion about it was previously testified that there's biologics that were collected. Are you aware of any of that?
I am, sir, aware of the reporting that biologics have been recovered. Again, my focus was more nuts and bolts, looking at the physical aspects of these phenomenon, how they interacted around military equities and nuclear equities. So I'm certainly not a medical expert. I would not be able to probably provide you a whole lot of value in that simply because I don't have the expertise.
But was anything described as that we have possession of bodies?
Yes.
We have is it multiple types of creatures or?
Sir, I couldn't answer that. I can tell you anecdotally that it was discussed quite a bit when I was at the Pentagon. The problem is the supposed collection of these biological samples occurred before my time, in fact, before I was even born.
And was this part of the Lockheed Martin discussion, or was this the biologics is a completely separate?
Separate yet related.
Okay. Has anyone made contact?
Sir, I'm sorry, could you specify?
Has there been any, to your knowledge, any
communication
with a non-human life form?
So the term communication is a bit of a trick word because there's verbal communication like we're having now. The problem is you also have nonverbal communication. And so I would say definitively yes, but from a nonverbal meaning, when a Russian reconnaissance aircraft comes into U.S. airspace, we scramble 2 F-22s, and we are certainly communicating intent and capability. I think the same goes with this. We have these things that are being observed over controlled U.S. airspace, and they're not really doing a good job hiding themselves. They're making it pretty obvious they have the ability to even interfere with our nuclear equities and our nuclear readiness.
Is the United States government and our contractors, are they pulling technology from this? Are they're reverse engineering this?
Sir, as I previously stated, and please forgive me, I am not authorized to discuss specifics about crash retrievals. I signed documentation with the U.S. government. What I can say was, after a very thorough review process by the Pentagon, what I wrote about. And that was my limit, unfortunately, that I was given.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Fair enough. I mean, and forgive me, I'm not sure which of these, I could tell you, I could point out which one was talking, obviously. I don't know that gentleman's name off the top. I suspect he's either ex-intelligence officer Louis Elizondo or perhaps Michael Schellenberger. I don't know. I don't know if you can read those little signs there. But nevertheless, when I saw that originally, and it was a different clip, but much of the same content, I thought, first of all, this individual is very well spoken. He's articulate. He seems to be very intelligent, seems to be a learned individual, right? A lot of credibility in my mind, at least off rip, sight unseen. Ant says, and I appreciate the emotes in the chat, Mom, well done. Ant says, in 1956, this would be all that's on the news. Now you have to seek it out for yourself. Walter Cronkite is rolling over in his grave. Fair play, Arrow Rising, fair play. And some people would probably argue that is intentional, meaning that certain newsworthy events don't get covered in the same way that perhaps they might have previously. But I don't think they would be saying so much of what they're saying openly back in 1956. I think back then, the world might not have been ready. You know what I mean? If we're not ready now, they definitely wouldn't have been ready. But all that being said, that gentleman said some interesting things. First of all, non-human biologics, even though that's a little open-ended to mama. Again, what are we talking about? And let me say this, because it wasn't in the clip and I couldn't find it. I wanted to. At some point in the testimony, someone suggests that these UAPs, and again, that's an unidentified anomalous phenomenon. It's pretty open-ended, but basically a craft, all right, comes from the oceans and not space necessarily. Now, some people speculate and suggest that maybe the oceans and space are tied to one another, or maybe there are portals and vortexes down there. I don't know. It's a lot, you know what I'm saying, when you don't have the answers. Chucha says, you think there are non-human biologics in Roswell? I do, absolutely. And one of the things I found interesting was the gentleman mentioned, he basically alluded to there being bodies, almost concretely, but that evidence of that was collected well before he might have even been born, which suggests that maybe the U.S. government at least has been in possession of some kind of non-human biologics for some time now. And I think we've all thought that. Look, we don't have a whole lot of information here, and we can play this game all day. But it's interesting. I find it very fascinating, and I at least appreciate and love the fact that at least they're trying. You know what I mean? Ryan's trying. Some people are trying to tell us maybe what's been classified for a very long time. And I'm hopeful that over the course of the next several years, we'll learn even more. Now, another thing that I think is worth mentioning, I heard this a couple of times in that clip alone. These entities or crafts are interfering with nuclear weaponry and technology. Bang! And I think that makes a lot of sense because if I recall correctly, when the US government began testing nuclear arms and the like, a lot of UFO and UAP sightings would occur around that time. I think also military personnel have given testimony about defense systems going down as it relates. So there seems to be a connection here between, if this is an advanced life, perhaps them wanting to either protect themselves, protect us, all of the above, and not make use of some of those, let's say, nuclear technologies, okay? Russ Barber says, big words for aliens, my man. What's his name? Shit. Shout out to you, Dad. God, I love it. Ant says, 99% of the ocean hasn't been explored. Shit, I don't even know what's in Lake Anna out back. And that is what they say as it relates to the oceans being unexplored. And I'm curious about that. I feel like, God, I feel like we've tried to see a lot of it, but perhaps that's true. I've heard the Mariana Trench is much deeper than we thought.
That's what she said.
I don't know. I'm eager and excited at the potential of seeing non-human biologics that perhaps we've never seen before. A lot of thoughts run through my mind as I start speaking about these things, so you're just going to get it as I give it to you. One of the things that I deeply believe, and some of y'all are going to disagree with me on this, but it's my show. But honestly, I believe that an octopus, is an alien. I do. I think an octopus is an alien. If you've ever observed some of the things that octopi can do, first of all, they can get into and get out of very, very, very small containers, objects, holes, etc. They also have the ability to camouflage instantaneously with various surroundings and environments that they're in. I think they're highly intelligent. They look like aliens, you know what I'm saying? I think octopi are aliens. I'm just gonna go on a limb and say that. My theory is that maybe a microorganism that became an octopi perhaps was on a meteor or a comet that crashed into the ocean. I don't know, okay? I'm theorizing at this point. But I do. I think when I see an octopus, I think, that's about as close as I've ever seen to an alien. I'm just saying. So there's that. Ant says, you bring up aliens, you ain't going under a 3-hour podcast, bro. Sorry, man. Look, this was... You're right. This is such a heavy topic. We haven't even gotten into the movie previews, and it's a mega movie review. I just think that it was worth putting y'all on game, and not really y'all, because those of you that are in the chat and watching currently, I think y'all already knew about this. In fact, I've talked to you about this already. But for anybody that might see this later on, appreciate that a lot of my Norwegian family and friends here, they're not up on U.S. congressional hearings, right? But many of them have theories and opinions on aliens, and so I hope this is fascinating for the majority. So that's all. I'm just trying to put y'all on game, and maybe you never saw that clip. A couple of other sentiments before we move forward is, when you watch the full hearing, and some of these other gentlemen give testimony as well, I think the takeaway for me is there may be advanced technology in the world that hasn't been openly discussed with the general public of the world. If I heard it correctly, there was suggestion that many nations, if not most nations, have some degrees of evidence of advanced technology in the form of UAP. And I'm confident, and I think they alluded to this in the clip, is that they're working to reverse engineer that. But sometimes military personnel, general civilians, they see craft in the sky that behaves in ways that our understanding of physics and science can't really explain, right? It don't know if it's gravity, don't know how. And if you all know Bob Lazar, he's an individual who has given testimony about working at Area 51. Mom, you mentioned Roswell, and describing some of the craft that he observed and worked on in a means of kind of reverse engineering. So I think this has been happening for a very long time. I'm just curious to learn more. Again, it's fascinating. And I'm sure that there's probably a lot that we collectively, and maybe even the individuals who are of an authority, still haven't figured out. So it's probably going to take a non-human biologic of a greater intelligence to explain all of this to us. My theory, and I'll probably leave you with that, but before I do, Ant says, shit, you never seen Sam Cassell? That's the closest you've seen to an alien. Sam Cassell. That name's not ringing a bell, man. If that's sports related, that's probably why. Let me know who it is. Google it. Oh man, you're killing me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's a joke, and it's worth doing. Sam Cassell. Come on, right guy. Sam Cassell. Okay, I figured it was sports related. Good one. Poor Sam Cassell. I do see it though. Sam Cassell could have been in Men in Black, as a matter of fact, since you mentioned it. It's a good joke. I didn't know he played for FSU. Shot on one time. Good joke, Ant. And somehow I knew inherently it was sports, and that's why it went right over my head. Poor guy. Ryan's trying. Aww. All right, the last thing I wanted to leave you with was, when witnesses, and appreciate some of these witnesses that I'm alluding to are, again, members of military forces. It's not just civilians, right? But people who fly jets, let's say, have suggested observing UAPs or some form of craft in the sky and in the ocean propelling in such a way that is inexplicable, right? We're talking G-forces. And in fact, they mentioned some of these G-forces in the testimony that in the full hearing. But G-forces that, and if you don't know what a G-force is, I can't explain it to you. It has to do with the way in which aircraft fly and the feeling you get anyway. Many, many times the amount of G's, so to speak, that our most advanced aircrafts can do today. My theory, you ready? This is where I was trying to get to, is that maybe they move through time-space differently than we can observe. Okay? Remember, we are just three-dimensional beings. And if there are more, right, dimensions up, maybe non-human biologics, maybe life forms greater than we can even imagine or perceive, can move through time-space differently than we can, or perhaps can even observe. But my theory is that they might project themselves forward or into the future, so to speak, at a rate that would give the perception of traveling, but really it's like projection. Is that hitting? Okay. Nevertheless, we don't know. The one thing I think we do know. Okay, y'all ready? The one thing we know for sure is we don't know shit. Edward Rising says, elephant in the room, where is Shadow 1311? Well, I could probably guess. Poor Shadow. He's working. I know, he's got to work on Saturdays and Sundays, and it's tough for him right now. He's entering his busy season, I believe, as they prepare for the holidays. Have a holiday. So one time, bang. It would have been nice to have a Christmas music queued up. I didn't think of that. And in my mind, we're still in November. I want to hold on. But you do see the snow falling on screen. You got the snowy background, and that is because it is absolutely snowing here in Tromsø. Yeah. Starting to shovel snow on the regular. And says, say less. Ladies and gentlemen, check out the full UAP hearing. I hope this was fun, informative, interesting, and maybe you all learn a little bit more, and we can go from there. So here's a quick outro for you. I did write this. The hearing underscores mounting bipartisan interests in uncovering the truth about UAPs, with further investigations expected to follow. Putting you on the game. Ladies and gentlemen, Hopester! She's certainly a VIP. Welcome to the chat, darling. Got a Superman Benz that I scored from Shaq with an old school caddy with the Hope is in the chat. That's right. Hopester, you just missed putting you on the game. We talked about the U.S. Congressional Hearing about UAPs. I don't know if you caught that, but certainly you can rewatch this show, okay? And I do, listen, I really encourage you to at least rewatch the beginning, because we had a very funny and wonderful monologue written and edited by none other than Arrow Rising. Hopester says, what's that? You want me to do it all over again? I certainly could. You'll have to rewatch the show, darling. I'm sorry. This is why we want you to tune in when we go live. You know what I mean? But I could give you the synopsis. Basically, I'll just tell you, if you're not up on game, there was a U.S. congressional hearing on November 13th focusing on unidentified anomalous phenomena, or UAPs. So the public is begging for transparency, and they're starting to tell us potentially, here's how they classify: non-human biologics. You can make your own inferences. So there you go. Thank you so much for being here. Stay tuned. We have a mega movie review. Mega movie review is anytime we have 5 titles or more. But coming up next, y'all ready for this? Everybody's part of the show. The movie preview game. But Arrow Rising says, one thing I just thought about, you've gone live like 50 times on a Saturday, early afternoon in Tromsø. Not nan time has someone knocked at your door. No, and I'm glad they haven't. Don't get a lot of knocks on the door. I'll tell you that in recent weeks, I did have a couple of knocks. Charities come around and they ask you to donate, particularly for the holidays. So I did that, and there was a really cute young man. I didn't catch his name, but so in Norway, there's an app that we use. It's called Vipps, and you can either give money, like physical money, or you can send a donation on Vipps. But he spoke English so well. Oh, look at that, ladies and gentlemen. There he is. What's his name?
Federico. Bang!
Appreciate you, bro.
Thank you. Far too kind.
Thank you for the resubscription. And he's hitting the Billie Jeans. Let it ride. Welcome to the show, bro. You've missed a lot, sadly, but Ant was just asking about you. Aww. Yeah, he was like, where's Shadow? I told him you were working, man. Everybody understands, but very happy to see your name in the chat, man. Bang. And we discussed this earlier, but notice how Shadow has a little train next to his name. That's because we were successful in reaching a level 2 hype train last week. So shout out to you, man. I think it must have been you that started that hype train, and we appreciate it. So you missed putting you on game as well. We talked about UAPs, the congressional hearing, and you missed the monologue. That's the real sad part. We put a lot of time and energy into that. But as I just mentioned, you're right on time for this week's movie preview game. So for anybody that doesn't know how this works, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to throw up the belt. Bang! So that's what you're playing for, ladies and gentlemen. The Strat, the one-of-one movie preview game belt. Absolutely. But cooler than that, perhaps, is if you win the movie preview game 3 times, R&B is gonna take you to the movies. Now, Ant can attest to this. He's received at least 2 movie tickets, though I don't think he used them for the movies. Punk ass. Hopefully you did, and you'll let us know what you saw. Ant says, I'm trying to get to the point where the belt is named after me. Like a stadium or a basketball court. Well, I tell you what, Ant, you win 100 times, we're gonna do that, man. Bang, 100 times, and you're on the road. As a matter of fact, this is a lovely segue. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you all to know who's on the leaderboard. Give it up one time. So there is the movie preview game leaderboard, and Arrow Rising, as a matter of fact, has 10 titles to his name. And coming up in the rankings, slowly but surely, is none other than the current and defending champion, ladies and gentlemen, Don Diego.
Out of the night, when the full moon is bright, comes a horseman known as Zorro.
That's right.
This bold renegade carves a Z with his blade, a Z that stands for Zorro.
Beware.
Zorro, the fox so cunning and free. Zorro, who makes the sign of the Z.
Tell him what your name is, bruh.
I am known by many names, but you can call me Zorro.
So, ladies and gentlemen, joanrroa. I don't think he's here. He probably doesn't even realize he's still the champ. As a matter of fact, because we've been off for 2 weeks. I know. Ant says, haven't won in a few tries. He's due. Bang. He also says, imagine someone tuning in at this exact moment. What the fuck is going on? I hope they do. Frankly, we need the viewership. All right, cool. So you saw the leaderboard. You saw my guy, Don Diego, a.k.a. joanrroa's intro. You see the movie You see the movie preview game belt. What you're about to see now is the movie preview game Gradient. There it is. Shadow says, sorry, brother. I have to catch everything on YouTube. Busy days. I know it, brother. Well, listen, if you want to stick around for like half a minute, you might be eligible to win today. Just saying. I know you got a lot going on, man. It's cool. How about this? Hopester, I hope you're still there. Mom, Dad, Chucha, Russ Barber. Bang. Don't let Anthony take this thing, so easily, okay? Let's give him some competition, shall we? Now, the rules of the game. Y'all ready? For anybody that's not in the chat, Hopester says, yes, that's my girl. Go, girl. Go, girl. Here are the rules. When I start the trailer, and I'm going to turn down the lo-fi so everybody can hear it and appreciate, you just have to be the first person to say or type the correct name of the film in the chat. The kicker is that you have to say the full name of the film. In a scenario where it's a sequel, you can't just get away with Home Alone 2, okay? It's gotta be Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. Now, I wouldn't even, watch this. Oh, there's an ad break coming up in 2 minutes. Well, in the interest of time then, I'm just gonna go ahead and play the trailer because I'd hate for anybody to be missing it for the sake of ads. All All right, so in just a second, all you have to remember is that just type the full name of the trailer. I'll be the judge, and the first person to get it right will be today's movie preview game champion. Sound good? Everybody ready? Awesome. Without further ado, I'm turning down the lo-fi. I hope you're as excited as Anthony is. Ladies and gentlemen, contestants, defending champion, good luck. Somebody knows it already.
Our lives are not defined by any one action. Our lives are the sum of our choices. It's pretty easy at this point.
Nobody? Come on, y'all.
Everything you are, everything you've done has come to this.
When the need for certainty is absolute,
Anthony, I have to pull your card. That is not the correct title.
Falls to him.
Somebody could jump in here and steal this thing on a technicality. There's a key word.
For every life you tried to save.
Negative. Still negative.
You gambled.
You're very, very close, however.
And now the fate.
There's a word, man. You're gonna see it on screen, and I'm gonna say that's what it is.
It's your responsibility.
Come on, you gotta beat the trailer.
That's the pattern, isn't it?
There's one crucial word, and you'll understand why it's so crucial.
To sacrifice the ones who
There it is. And I think you get why that word is so important. Look at your boy Tom, huh? One time for TC. He does his own stunts.
You've always been on the right side, brother.
Said I
have
panicked.
no regrets. Neither should you.
It's gonna be epic.
I need you to trust me.
I do.
One last time.
Here it comes. Chia! I hope that was as entertaining for you all as it was for me. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to welcome to the stage your 11-time movie preview game champ.
Let me start with, I'm north is where my heart is. Yankees, baby, NY till I die, no lie. I've been through some tough times, some rough climbs. You think you had a bad life, you ain't heard about mine. My dad was selling drugs in the ghetto where I'm from. Running from the cops, Tallahassee, here I come. I wanted to go back, if I could, then I would. Thank the Lord I didn't, cause that shit was for the good.
There he is! Congratulations, Arrow Rising. The full title, Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. Awesome. Got a lot going on here. Don Diego, Ant the Champ. That was awesome. Ant says, the music made me panic even more. Spinner belt, worst era. Nah, man, come on. He says, I get the double legal phone belt at the house. I love it. That was a fun trailer. And remember this, I typically pick trailers of films that I personally want to see. And I try to make it epic and blockbuster, but not always. That one I think is very important because it's Tom Cruise. I mean, if he ain't the GOAT, you have a tough time arguing the point, okay? But for the sake of argument and conversation, I'm very excited about it, and I'm sad to think that maybe it's the last Mission Impossible. Aww. But I also have a feeling maybe they'll do it like, you know, James Bond and 007, and they'll just hand the torch over. But Ethan Hunt, shout out to Tom Cruise. Bang. So that was why the word final was so important, because I think it's the last one. Yeah. Chucha says, he's not my GOAT. Aww. All right. Well, you're welcome to have an opinion, and you can tell us who your GOAT is. But when I say the GOAT, first of all, try to name a Tom Cruise film that isn't great. Don't worry. I'll wait. Errol Rising, Chucha likes Paul Newman. I like Paul Newman too. And they were both in The Color of Money. How about that? And I'm sure that's why that you made that joke. But honestly, when you run through the titles, and we'd have to pull up IMDb, there's so many. Ant and I did this once or twice in our lifetime. And says Vanilla Sky may be the only one I don't think is great, but many people do, bro. It is, and arguably it is. It's artistic, it's deep, pause.
That's what she said.
It's good. You'd be hard pressed to find a film. I mean, he's done so many movies. Now, Chucha, I don't know if you were speaking of Tom Cruise the individual or Tom Cruise the actor and entertainer. Now, let me say this. I say this quite often, I think. Ryan is able to separate the art from the artist. And when I'm speaking to Tom Cruise, I don't know this man. So I'm not talking about my friend Tom. I'm talking about Tom Cruise, the actor. You know what I'm saying? What I do know. Errol Rising says, I made Veronica watch Edge of Tomorrow just because. Bang for the buck. Bang, he's the GOAT. See what I'm saying? You're gonna be hard pressed to name a bad Tom Cruise movie. Errol Rising says, a movie like Night and Day, no one will even mention. Watch that shit and you're entertained. Again, good picks. We can do this all day. Also, I think I just lost my soundboard. Yeah, so that's awesome. But I do know how to fix it. So wait on that, ladies and gentlemen. Nope, we're not back yet. Come on, Rye Guy. Close the window. Nope, still nothing. If I lose the soundboard, this show goes to hell in a handbasket. You know what I'm saying? I can't even make my laugh. All right. Click, click. Nothing. Oh, Lord. How did I fix it last time? I don't know. All right. I'm panicking a little bit, ladies and gentlemen, only because the soundboard isn't working. Devices, Stream Deck 2. Yeah. There is a way to fix it. I just don't know how. I need these sounds in order to make the show do what I wanted to do. Okay. There's probably a way for me to unplug it, but that feels so scary. All right. I can't make transition changes. I can't do much without this board. So you all are going to have to hold on for just a quick second. I thought that I fixed it real easy last time. But whatever I did isn't working now. So I'm going to close that window. Close that window. Nothing. Okay. There's a lot going on in the chat. I'll let you all continue the conversation, but hang out with me for just a second. I want to be sure to plug right in. All right, I think it's this one. Yep, got that one. All right, we're still here. Let's see. Let's go. Awesome. All right. Whew. That was close. Can you all hear these sounds? Let me know in the chat, all right? Whew. God damn, that was scary. All right, because again, I use this board for so many functions of the show, and if I can't run and produce the show. Hopster says yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You're far too kind.
All right. Chucha said, the only Tom Cruise movie I've watched is A Few Good Men. That's not true, Mom. I don't know if that's a joke, but that's not true. You've seen a lot. Last Samurai, Still Magnolias. Come on, we could do this all day. Tom Cruise a lot. Hopster says, Tim Curry was the devil. He was awesome. And Rising says, see, there's no way you haven't seen Eyes Wide Shut, Interview with the Vampire, Top Gun. The list goes on and on. All right. Speaking of moving on and going on, one more time, shout out to Arrow Rising for being an 11-time movie preview game champion. We'll be sure to update things for you next week, however you want, man. Think about if you want a new photo to pop up, if you want different theme music, we could do this all day. Hopster says, Ryan, have you seen In Legend? Maybe I Am Legend? I Am Legend? In Legend? I'm not sure. I've seen I Am Legend. Don't know about In Legend. Tom Cruise in Legend? I don't know. In Legend. What's it about? Matter of fact, I gotta look up the poster. I forget more than I know I've seen. You know what I'm saying? In Legend. Movie. 1980. Oh, is that the one? And I hate to do this to him. Is that the one where his teeth are kind of buttoned up? It's like a mythical movie, right? Just Legend. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a young Tom Cruise, if I'm not mistaken. He's like going through the woods and it's like murky. No, not that one. You know which one I'm talking about there? Now it's yes. Okay. All right, let's try again. Legend, Tom Cruise. I'm pretty sure it's the one I'm thinking of, and the answer would be yes. Yes, I have seen this. Bang. Yeah, his teeth. Go back and watch that movie. Tom Cruise has crooked front teeth in that film. Bang. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Steel Magnolias. He is in a movie about magnolias. Hold on one second. I gotta do this because y'all are calling me out. It's called Magnolia. How about that? Not Steel Magnolias. That's my bad. But there is a film with the word magnolia in it. How many of those are there? You know what I mean? All right, give me a pass for that. Russ Barber says, send out the women's final football soccer game tonight. Go Orlando. Look at that, changing up the subject known as, what's his name? As a matter of fact, I was gonna do it, and I just love that one so much, I think. But this is so awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes you just wanna know. What do you wanna know?
I wanna know who Russ is.
What do you wanna do?
I want him to show me.
Yes! Come on! Shout out the women's final soccer game. Okay, one time for them. Bang! When you say women's soccer, this is like an MLS team? I guess the Orlando women's team is in some kind of finals, huh? That's awesome. Thank you for bringing that up. I know it was perfect for the random soccer moment. The problem was, and just to help you understand why I didn't hit it first, when I toggle the board, right, because I have so many pages, I knew where Russ's icon was that I've been using. So I just went to that thinking that was the right thing to do, but that was so fucking perfect. One more time, ladies and gentlemen, when you want to know.
I want to know who Russ is. I want him to show me.
Shout out. So Russ, Dad, Aunt did those for you, man. Pause. He built those for you because you shown him some love last week. I hope you dig them. I love them. Chucha says, I know who Russ is. Of course you do. It's the professional women's soccer final. Shout out. Well, listen, shout out to the women's team. Awesome. Y'all should have thought about going to the game. That would have been amazing. It's not that far. Could have planned ahead. Is it in Orlando? Otherwise, I take it back. But that's cool. I'll have to catch the highlights. Maybe we talk about that if they win. And if they don't, who are they playing? Orlando versus... You let me know. It's in Kansas. God damn. We ain't in Kansas anymore. This isn't part of my script, but ladies and gentlemen, I have to put y'all up on game one more time. It's not really putting you on the game. It's just my latest food obsession. Are y'all ready for this? So Matthew McConaughey was on a podcast recently. I think it was Two Bears, but basically that doesn't matter. But one of the talking points on the show was Matthew McConaughey's tuna salad recipe. Now, I didn't take all of what Matt McConaughey suggested, but I got creative and I have my own tuna salad recipe. Are y'all ready for this? Now, when I say it's an obsession, Errol Rising says, lost me at tuna. Thought you were gonna go with steak. Nope. I don't know why Kansas brought this to my mind. I guess because, he's from Texas, Kansas. I don't know. But listen to me. for the past, I don't know, 3 or 4 days in a row, which is a lot for someone to have the same thing. And tuna fish is pretty. I have been making this and it is exceptional. So I want to give you all the recipe so that you can try it. Are you ready? Okay, check this out. Chucha says, we're going to make the world famous Kansas City Dixon chili from the UM game tonight. Well, bang, going to make that chili. That's cool. Texas and Kansas don't even border. I know, it was just my mind. I thought, okay, I wish I could throw up like a picture show and you could see everything. Kansas. We're not in Kansas anymore. Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. Then it was like real grainy film going through my head. And then for some reason I thought, damn, the tuna fish. it all makes sense to me. Listen, Kansas City Dixon chili sounds wonderful. I'm not sure what that is. If you want to put your recipe in the chat, I'll tell you mine. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, watch this. You take a can of tuna, particularly the tuna fish in the water, not the oil. Okay, there's a difference there. This is important. But you drain that. You put the tuna fish in the bowl. Then you put some mayonnaise, mustard, okay? And now you're gonna chop up some ingredients. You have celery, dill pickle, apple, and not Granny Smith apple. I want like a red sweet apple, okay? Because the flavors, it creates a symphony of flavors in your mouth. Ready? Pause.
That's what she said.
You're gonna add some salt and pepper, a dash of hot sauce, a little bit of apple cider vinegar, lemon juice. This is the bit that is the game changer. And of course, it makes sense in the tuna fish. And this is what I took from Matthew McConaughey. Wasabi. Wasabi. Of course, wasabi inside the tuna. I think that's it. So I think I covered all of my ingredients. You mix that all up, and then you take slices of bread and you toast the outside of the bread, but not the inside. And then you put your tuna fish salad, so to speak, in between those buttered pieces of toast, and you eat it like a sandwich, and it is orgasmic. I promise you. Now you can add some other things if you're into it. Matt McConaughey adds peas, frozen peas, which is a little weird to me, and also corn. And he also suggested jalapeno chips to give it a little crunch. And last night I added like a spicy tortilla chip, and it did add a little something. So shout out to Matt McConaughey one time. But I don't know why I have been hooked on this tuna fish salad, and it is a game changer. All right, moving on. Chucha's or Arrow Rising says, you're literally naming off things I don't like. Come on, man. And then Chucha says, Blake Shelton dropped a new song called Texas Last Friday. It's great. Putting you on the game. Bang. Well, thank you for that, Mom. I'm not a big Blake Shelton fan, but I'll give it a go. I'm not closed-minded. And then Russ says, I look forward to you making me a sandwich when you're here next month. Hell yeah, Dad.
I wanna know who Russ is. I want him to show me.
Ant says, new segment called Game Changer. That's pretty cool. What worries me is I won't have a lot of things to change the game on, you know what I mean? You'll have to help me with that, bang. But I appreciate that feedback. All right, Dad, I would love to make you that sandwich, and I promise you it is fantastic. All right, moving right along. I'll probably have to add that segment in my notes somewhere. Rise, tuna, fish. Matter of fact, I need to make a... Let me do this. If I don't think of it now, I'll forget it later. So this is Rise, tuna, fish, salad recipe. Cool. Edward Rising says, put you on a game, movie trailer game, game changer. There's a theme going on. Absolutely. I actually thought of that in my mind when you said game changer. I was like, yeah, we use games so much already. I was like, we'll have to come up with something else. So funny you mentioned that. It's been a great show thus far. Ladies and gentlemen, we had a wonderful opening monologue. Check that out on YouTube if you missed it. You can rewatch the VOD on Twitch as well. Then I put y'all on game. We had a recap. We had the movie preview game. Shout out again to Arrow Rising for being the champ. Bang. UAP Congressional Hearings and all that. Now we are on to... Oh, we got some things happening in the chat. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Chucha Barber's Dixon chili recipe.
Choo-choo, 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 choo-choo.
Yeah. All right, check this out. Dixon chili uses pink beans. Never even heard of pink beans before. No tomatoes. Hamburger is boiled. Beans and burger are not mixed, but stacked separately and topped with cheddar cheese, sour cream, and other preferred toppings. That sounds delicious. I'm gonna put that in the notes as well, Mom. This is Chucha's Dixon. Dixon, is it a place? Is it a city, perhaps? Dixon chili recipe. And you know what, Aunt? I'm gonna take your suggestion and we're gonna call this Game Changers. Aunt says 1 hour and 22 segments in. I know. Imagine if we had Anthony as part of the show.
I'm Anthony, he's Anthony, it's Anthony's part of the show.
Chucha says, it's a 100-year-old restaurant. Dixon's? Okay, cool. Is it in Kansas City? I'm going to Kansas City. I wish I could have done that better. Had I known there would be a segment, I'd have had that clip lined up. Edward Rising says, next soundbite will have to be country. One genre I haven't done yet. The crowd would love that, Aunt. And you're pretty good at that. What, you know what I mean? What isn't he good at? Dixon, what is a pink bean? Is it a kidney bean? There's a scene, just because. There's a scene in one of my most favorite movies, just because. It is The Jacksons, The American Dream. There's a scene where they're talking about beans. I think it's Michael's character, as a matter of fact, who's like, there's all kinds of beans. Kidney beans, lima beans, pinto beans, and it just keeps going. It's pretty cute. Let me know, what's a pink bean? I've heard of red beans and rice, and then I've heard of kidney beans. I don't know of any other beans. She says, small, pink, cute. Small pink bean used mostly in Mexico. Just because.
Federico, Fede.
All right, I can play it, so I did. All right, very cool. Aunt says, I seen a horse fly. I seen all that too. That would be something to have, maybe, just because. I don't know. I do have a couple of other cool sound bites coming up. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we are about to kick off Ryan's Mega Movie Review. Let's do this thing right. Shout out to Arrow Rising for putting this together as well.
It's only a movie.
Just look over your shoulders, honey.
Yeah!
Good morning, Vietnam!
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
I don't even own a gun, let alone many guns that would necessitate an entire rack.
Snakes? Snakes. I don't know no snakes.
Well, I got a number. How do you like them apples?
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Hey, you guys!
Enjoy your remaining years.
I will. Enjoy fucking jewels.
I will.
That Veronica Vaughn is one piece of ace.
The snozberries taste like snozberries.
Alrighty then.
Get your popcorn ready.
Chip. And how about that? The American Dream was in that montage. I forgot all about that. Just look over your shoulders, huh? So dope. And says R.I.P. Mike, Robin, and Swayze. R.I.P. Chucha says she's ready. Bang. What's her name?
Her name is Chucha. She's getting lit up in the chat.
I combined those sounds on that one. That was a happy accident, as a matter of fact. there's an individual in this first film that I forgot to list in the cast, and it's important that their names be added. So let me do this. Hold on one second. Sometimes, again, I was really rushing to get so many of these notes written. All right. And there's probably some even more actors in this first film that I didn't mention, so bear with me. But ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, this is a mega movie review. And what that means is there's more than 5 titles. And the reason why is because I was out sick for a week and a half, and so I had the opportunity to watch a lot of films. So here we go, kicking things off. Bang! The first title, believe it or not, we have shown a trailer on this show before, and so I felt obligated to watch it. Plus, it is star-studded. And I also like the director. Didn't know what to expect going into it, and I was a little disappointed. And if you've seen this show before, you know that we kind of start low and we try to end higher. I won't say high because we don't always watch amazing programs. Not my fault necessarily. Sadly, a lot of programs just ain't that great. You know what I mean? And we're tough critics. But here we go. I will say this. The list today is a good list. It's solid. It's solid. It's solid. So I'll just say that. So the first film coming out the gate is Megalopolis. Megalopolis. I didn't fully understand it at first. I was like trying to get into it. I wrote a synopsis, so I'll explain it to you a little bit. It is, however, star-studded. And you can see in the poster so many of those noteworthy individuals. In fact, I'll tell you who. First of all, Adam Driver, bang. I really love and admire Adam Driver. I think he's an excellent actor, and I like a lot of the stuff that he's in. Someone else that's in this that I like very much, though I didn't love him in this project, Shia LaBeouf. Love him too. So, Forrest Whitaker, Nathalie Emmanuel, John Voight, Lawrence Fishburne, Giancarlo Esposito, and more. Aubrey Plaza, again, another name that escaped me earlier. It's a cool movie. It's not great, however, and I think you'll understand that if you watch it. Now, it is very artistic, and let me read the synopsis, and then I'll tell you some more sentiments, and we'll just keep things moving. We've got a lot of movies to cover today, ladies and gentlemen. So, Megalopolis, is an epic drama from director Francis Ford Coppola that envisions a sprawling, futuristic city where dreams of a utopian society clash with the harsh realities of politics, power, and human ambition. The story centers on an architect determined to rebuild New York City as a utopia following a catastrophic disaster. As he strives to realize his vision, he faces opposition from entrenched powers and personal struggles, leading to a gripping exploration of idealism versus pragmatism. All right. It's like a play on Rome, and they wear Roman hairstyle in this, and that's kind of cool. But it was too much. It felt like the writer and director was just trying to make it futuristic and also historically retro, and then there are these characters that you get a sense are playing, Caesar kind of types, and they're very well to do. It was complicated, is the short of it. I found it entertaining, and I think primarily was because the way in which it's shot, again, very artistic, that color gradient, the theme of that poster that you're seeing is kind of how the movie looks ultimately. And I think, again, they're doing that to make it somewhat fiction, somewhat futuristic. I don't know. You all are going to have to watch this thing on your own and let me know if my analysis is way off. The acting was good. I think the delivery of some of the monologues and lines are stellar. We need to give hand claps for that. I mean, it's a strong cast. The cast is stacked. And the directing is good, but I don't know. The concept, I think, is what failed me. So look, the film weaves together grand themes of progress, humanity, and the sacrifices required to achieve greatness. It is set against a visually stunning and ambitious backdrop. That's the best I can say about it. And there's an ad break coming up. But Megalopolis couldn't have chosen an easier title for me to say. Thanks so much. Let me know. Has anybody seen this? The chat went dead on me, so I don't know. Feels like this. All right, I'm going to just keep it moving because we have so many movies to cover. Megalopolis. I mean, again, love the talent. Wasn't that good. Ant says, nah, dog. Keep it moving. All right, I feel you. Ladies and gentlemen, Megalopolis. Meh. All right, that's what you get. Now, this next one. Changing it up on you.
It's a psychological thriller.
Our Rising says, Megalopolis, mega letdown. There you go. That's my joke writer, ladies and gentlemen. Bang, good shit. All right, I'll let y'all guess on this one. The director, you ready?
M. Night Shyamalan.
Y'all know it yet? You know it yet? I'll tell you who the principal actor is if you want to guess. Matter of fact, maybe I'll read this one in the movie preview, but Signs 2, not bad. Not bad. Signs 1 was pretty good, speaking of aliens and all that. All right, check this out.
A psychological thriller set during a high-profile music concert that descends into chaos when a serial killer strikes.
All right, I'm off it. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, it is Trap. Bang! I bees in the trap. Starring none other than Josh Hartnett. Nice to see him back in the mix. He had done a lot of films and then kind of went MIA for a little while there. But this one was pretty good in the sense of I liked his performance. I want to give another hand clap. He did a great job. He did. And what I like about M. Night's stuff, if I can call him that, Ever Rising says, early 2000s heartthrob. Aww. Yes, he was. Shout out to him. I can say this. I'm comfortable in my own. Handsome guy. I don't know how tall he is, but he, feels like he's got a lot going on for him, all right? Hand claps for old Josh Hartnett. And says, I was talking about myself, man. Early 2000s heartthrob. Come on, baby. My man. I mentioned it's directed by M. Night Shyamalan, and one of the things I really love about his films is usually there's a twist, okay? And this one does that to some degree. No spoilers on this show. No spoilers! The film follows a gripping narrative as concert goers, including the lead character played by Josh Hartnett, are thrust into a terrifying game of survival as tensions escalate, secrets unravel, and alliances form in unexpected ways, leading to a chilling confrontation that blurs the lines between hero and villain. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It was entertaining. Now, it's only number 2 on our list today, so if I'm telling you it's pretty good, that, you know what? High hopes for the rest of the fucking films. They're all a little different, so let me say that. What I liked about this one, comparatively, is that it was suspense, but you wanted to keep watching to figure out how it was going to unfold, and then things continue to unfold, and that's where those twists come in. It's not spooky juice, you know what I'm saying? But it is pretty cool in a sense. So if anybody has seen this and wants to contribute, you're more than welcome. But I enjoyed it. It was entertaining. I think it's not for all ages, but everybody that watches this show, I think, would enjoy this. So bang. M. Night Shyamalan. M. Night Shyamalan? If you know, you know. I have one more outro for you, so here we go. So with Shyamalan's trademark twists, as I mentioned, and atmospheric storytelling, Trap delivers a suspenseful and haunting exploration of fear and human resilience. Shout out. It's pretty good. That was Trap. I bees in the trap. Okay. Coming up next, keeping it rolling, ladies and gentlemen. This one, another thriller. Wait for it.
Cause this night, and no one's gonna save you from the beast about to strike. You know it's
Had to do it. In a perfect world, I cut that off early, but then the music's playing, and my heart's beating. I can't Can't stop myself once it gets going. Shout out to that. Probably gonna get flagged for that on YouTube, but so worth it. All right, it's a thriller. You get it? Because this is thriller? Okay, cool. It stars another actor who I very much like and admire, James McAvoy. Anybody want to guess? Anybody want to guess? I'll tell you who the director is, and I don't know much about him, but his name is James Watkins. James Watkins. Arrow Rising says, this one I like and I want to see. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it is Speak No Evil. The poster is pretty intriguing. Here's a fun fact. M. Night Shyamalan, James McAvoy, they worked together in Split, which is part of the Unbreakable series. So, respect. He says, I don't think it's free here yet. Damn, sorry to hear that. Well, I wouldn't tell you to buy it, okay? So it's not great in the sense of, oh man, you gotta watch it. But it was entertaining. It was fun. A little bit better than Trap. Different, however. I think I liked it just because I don't know how to articulate why I liked it more. One could argue the storytelling and the acting in Trap was better than Speak No Evil. I just think there was more in Speak No Evil than Trap. So Trap takes place at a music concert. She's like a pop star. And so the majority of the film, you're at the venue of the concert. And so I think in that sense, I was just like, let's hurry this thing along. Whereas Speak No Evil primarily takes place at like a house out in the country. So that's all I'll say about that. But here's the synopsis. Y'all ready? Check it out. Again, another psychological thriller. I don't know what was wrong with me. I guess when I'm sick, I'm into thrillers. I should have done this. All right, I'm off that. Starring James McAvoy, it centers around the unsettling events that unfold when a family is invited to stay with another family that they met on vacation. Initially, all appears to be normal. There's a friendly exchange, tensions rise as they uncover disturbing secrets about their hosts. It leads to an eerie and uncomfortable situation. The film delves into themes of trust, societal norms, and the consequences of ignoring those warning signs in relationships. Don't ignore the signs, ladies and gentlemen, particularly when your partner is trying to tell you what they're feeling, okay? Let's see what else I got for you here. As the situation escalates, and remember, no spoilers! As the situation escalates, McAvoy's character must navigate a chilling moral dilemma, where speaking out could have dire consequences. Hence the title of the film, you see. The film explores the dark side of human nature, leaving audiences questioning the lengths that people will go to maintain civility and avoid confrontation. Ladies and gentlemen, Speak No Evil. I liked it. It was pretty good. Is it great? I don't think it's great. Do I think James McAvoy is great? Fuck yeah, I do. That's how strongly I feel about that. So there it is. Not much to say. You haven't seen it yet. Aunt, you're going to enjoy it. Mom, Dad, I think you would love it. Hopester, if you're there, you'll like it. Anyone else that's watching, check it out. Bang. Speak No Evil. Moving right along. And please, don't be shy. Say what's up in the chat. Love y'all. Aww. Okay. Now this next one. Y'all ready? In truth, let me say this. This movie should have come sooner in the list. But my rationale in scoring the films, it's difficult to compare apples and oranges. You know, even though they're all fruit, right? You understand the analogy I'm giving you here with movies? They're all very different. Again, what I love about one film might be very, very different as far as why I love another. And so the reason this film ranks so highly, I think you're going to understand and know and appreciate right off rip. Is it great? No, it is not. Let me say that. Was it fun? Yes. Did I like it? I did. Was it the best in the franchise and series? Sadly, no, it was not. Well, what was it, Rye? Stop leaving us in suspense. I'll tell you, but I'm gonna do it in a cool way. Feel me.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys,
let it ride, right?
What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Nobody now give you no break. Police now give you no break. That old soldier man now give you no break. Not even your eyes now give you no breaks. Hey, bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys.
Come on, one time, huh? Bad boys. I could have played a bunch of clips for this poster, but I thought, nah, let me go on and get the real OG song one time. Bang, play that. That song rides, by the way. You could play that in the gym and be straight. And it says, watched it on a plane, I was entertained. There you go.
Thank you. Far too kind.
Let me say this. As a plane ride movie, this is exactly what you want. I don't know what it is about watching films on an airplane, but you don't want to watch like an epic blockbuster, at least not for the first time. But something like this on an airplane where okay, so earlier I was trying to tell you why I love certain things. Well, obviously I grew up with the Bad Boys franchise, you know what I'm saying? I love Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, come on. So there's an affinity, a connection, a familiarity, a comfort when you're watching this movie because you grew up. You did grow up with these actors in the sense that you watched Fresh Prince, you watched Martin, and you've seen just about everything that they've ever made independently or together. And it's not great in the movie sense, but it's great for what it is. I hope you get that. So bang. Chucha says, it's the mini screen effect. It probably is. The mini screen on the plane adds a sense of intimacy in that, but I don't know. It's a little mindless too, if I could say it that way. Like, I don't know. I can't concentrate exactly on an airplane. I don't know. I'm just not comfortable. I think that's what it is. The degree of comfortability, particularly if you're not flying business class, you know what I mean. But anyway, let's talk about the movie. Y'all ready? Ride or Die is the latest, perhaps last, although maybe not. These boys probably gonna make these movies till they're both gone. Bang. It's the latest installment of the Bad Boys action comedy franchise following the high-octane adventures of Miami detectives, and that's the other reason I love it. Of course I do. It takes place in Miami. Come on. It's nice to see, the city you're from. Miami detectives Mike Lowry, played by Will Smith, and Marcus Burnett, played by Martin Lawrence. In this film, the duo must team up once again to take down a ruthless criminal organization, because of course they do. Of course they do. Let me say this. Oh. Okay, I lost my soundboard on my screen, but I still have it here. Shit's weird. It feels like it's the same movie again and again and again and again. Now, I'm here for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm here for it. But they even make the same jokes. Like, they do the Skittles bit. They do, and it's the same scene where they go into the, it's not a spoiler. They go into the convenience store and it's like, put some Skittles. And there's a guy. I mean, it's like, yeah, I've seen this scene before. But I guess that's part of it. You just kind of want to see them getting older and doing the same things. But anyway, I'll keep reading. They navigate perilous situations. They balance their personal lives with their intense work, leading to comedic moments alongside explosive action sequences. The film explores themes of friendship, loyalty, and redemption while delivering the signature humor, fast-paced action, and unforgettable chemistry between Smith and Lawrence. The directors of this film, and forgive any mispronunciation, are Adil El Arbi and Bilal Fallah. Shout out to them. High octane, fast pace, comedic performance and delivery, much of the same film, but still entertaining. And there were some cool things that happened in a Miami environment. Again, I'm not going to give anything away. Let's just say the word alligators. All right, if I could do that. Now, Ant, you saw it. You're not contributing in the chat, but that's okay. There's probably not a lot to say. But just because we can, one more time, ladies and gentlemen, Bad Boys.
Bad boys, bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys.
Hand claps. And we're out. All right. Now I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more titles to go. I told y'all it was a mega movie review. I don't think we've ever had 10. Today I think it's 8, but y'all can rewatch and let me know. I'm not gonna count on camera. The next one, in keeping it moving, is one where I saw a clip on social media and I thought, I have to see this. And the reason is, and remember, I watch films for different reasons. Most of these films on the list today are all very different in their own regard. And this one I think stands out in a unique way. I'll let you figure out how. But oftentimes, there are connections between the films, just like the McAvoy and the M. Night Shyamalan thing, right? This actress who plays, technically, the primary actress is not who I'm about to mention, but they both kind of share the light here. They play the same character. I'll explain. But instead of leaving you in suspense, it's Miss Aubrey Plaza. Ladies and gentlemen, Aubrey Plaza, who I love. I love her. And the more I see her, not because of her aesthetic, though she's a very beautiful woman, it's really, I love her performances. I love how she portrays these characters. You might recall a couple weeks ago, we talked about Agatha All Along, and she's definitely in that. Does a great job, and she was in Megalopolis and all that, but she's really, really great. Ant says something about her I strongly dislike. Aww. Well, you're entitled to those opinions. Now remember, I feel like for a long time, like she's on Parks and Rec, and I think that's kind of how she got her start. And that character is unique in the sense that she plays like an interesting kind of person. Now, maybe some of Aubrey is that character, and that's how it works so well. And you do see shades of that in so many of the other characters that she portrays. So maybe it's who she is. I don't know this woman, so I can't speak to who she is, but I think she's a fine actress. So let me say that. And I like her. I don't know why, but I do. I feel like she feels someone with whom I could hang out with and personable. I don't know. But this film, y'all ready? It's called My Old Ass. My Old Ass. Come on, she's a cutie. And let me say this. The other young lady in that poster, her name is Maisie Stella, and she carries. She does a fantastic job. But they play the same character. So I'll give you the synopsis. Y'all ready? It's a comedy that follows a woman played by Maisie Stella. And she's really a young woman, if I can be fair about it. I think she's getting ready to go to college or something like that. She's grappling with unexpected challenges of aging and passing time. In the film, she navigates a series of hilarious yet poignant encounters with her family and friends, including a standout performance by Aubrey Plaza. Now, I say family and friends. I don't think this is a spoiler. This is the concept of the movie. Aubrey Plaza plays an older version of herself. So the title suggests My Old Ass because they have conversation with one another. It's like you're talking to your future self. Bang. Where was I? Here we go. Together, they explore absurdities of growing older, embracing the awkwardness and wisdom that come with it. It's a witty dialogue and heartfelt film, and it delves into themes of self-acceptance, identity, and the beauty in life's messy transitions. Directed by Miss Megan Park. Bang. Hope says, OMG, I watched that. I loved it. She was great. Mushrooms are great. Yeah. See that? Thank you so much, Hope.
Thank you. You're far too kind.
So I forgot, and thank you for mentioning this. And what's cute is I add emojis to my notes and things, and there is a mushroom emoji sitting here. So that is how, no spoilers, it's fine. That's how this relationship between the present self and the future self get to talking to one another. It's like a hallucination. But then, is it? Is it a hallucination? That's part of the film, so you all will have to watch that for yourselves. But it's cute. I thought it was cute. Again, I really like Aubrey Plaza. I think she's great, and I like the vibe she brings to a lot of her characters. And I also thought Miss Maisie Stella did a fantastic job. So hand claps one more time. My old ass. Again, every film on today's list is one that I would encourage us all to watch. Are they all amazing? No. Are they entertaining? Yes. Are they good? Yes. So check them out. Bang. And that was my old ass. How cool would it be to have an opportunity to talk either to your future self or your younger self? That would be fucking cool. So I like the concept of the movie in addition to the actors. Actresses. You can say either way, right? All right. This next one. Y'all ready? Don't know if I don't know how to intro this one. I think I'm gonna do it a cool way. Can I do that? Can I do it a cool way? Sidebar. When I watch a lot of Michael Jackson concerts, which I still do on the regular, like every month, one of the things you learn in watching a mutual perfectionist, a fellow Virgo, if you will, is that the shows are so locked in their routine, you know? So if you've seen them and you've studied them, which I have, you learn the beats. And there are certain songs where Mike will do the same things. And even later on in life, where his shows adopt some of his old hits, he still does some of the same like bits, if I could call them that. And one of the things he does with one of the songs is, he'll ask the crowd, "Can I come down there?" And of course, everybody's like, "Yeah, Mike, come down there." So that's how I got to this point. Again, that's how my mind works. When I was like, "Can I do that?" I thought instantly that sounded like Mike. He's like, "Can I come down there? Can I sing down there?" All right. Without further ado, watch this. Oh! Ladies and gentlemen, you know what that means. When you see the colored rainbow gradient on screen, what are we gonna do? Play a movie trailer. That's right. That's right, we are. So let me turn down the lo-fi. Before I do, let me tell you why I did this for you. Sometimes I want you all to appreciate a film in a way that's more than I can just tell you about. Now, I could have done this for several of the films that we've talked about, but I didn't want to overdo it, okay? We're trying to keep it on time, and we're already damn near 2 hours in, okay? But we talked about UFOs and UAPs. This film is special for a particular reason. In my mind, it's special for a number of reasons. I'm going to play the trailer and then I'll tell you about it. But it was very entertaining. It was also personally quite inspiring. But check this out.
Quiet on the set.
Hey, Pharrell.
Cute, right?
Hey, how you doing, man? You know what'd be cool is if we told my story with Lego pieces.
Hell yeah.
Seriously? Yes.
Lego.
Just be open.
Be open.
It might seem crazy what I'm about
Come
to
on.
say.
When I was a kid, I knew I was different. And people would say, "Oh, that's an odd child." And that crushed my spirit. But I loved music. It was mesmerizing to me. I would see beautiful hues of light cascading. I just thought that's what all black kids did, stared into the speaker like, whoa.
She's up all night to the sun.
Music was just coming out of me. I need to show the world what I can do.
Pharrell, I need help on this rap.
Yes, sir.
It's pretty simple. Just let it bounce. He just went in the room and
You don't know who that is yet, but
It's Teddy. Ready with the 1-2 check.
All I cared about was making my own music. But people
Teddy
just said,
Riley.
no, I wasn't ready.
Michael Jackson. It all connects.
You can't be me. I'm a rock star.
This song is ridiculous.
So good.
Who did that?
What's Pharrell?
Pharrell.
Wow.
Snoop.
My imagination would run super wild.
Dun, 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 dun.
Drop it like it's hot.
I was always a bad
So
gangster,
good.
but you brought out a smile.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say.
Kids.
That feels great.
It does.
I firmly believe that everybody has talent, beauty, and potential.
Thanks,
Keep
for
open
real.
our eyes to a whole different perspective.
Thank you, Pharrell. Come along if you know what happiness is to you.
So good.
Woo! Holy moly, guacamole. Legendary story, yeah?
Shout out to Nori.
Wow, wow, wow. Man, this is gonna be a Lego movie, bruh.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Piece by Piece. Super cute, super cool, stupid inspiring. I learned a lot from that film. I didn't know some of the nuances about Pharrell Williams' life and his journey. It's pretty amazing, to say the least. So Piece by Piece is a documentary directed by Morgan Neville that explores the life and career of music icon Pharrell Williams. The film, which blends Lego animation with live action sequences, offers an imaginative and genre-defying journey through Pharrell's creative evolution, highlighting his influence in the music industry and beyond. It features interviews with Pharrell himself, along with his collaborators, such as those you saw in the trailer to name a few: Gwen Stefani, Kendrick Lamar, Timbaland, Justin Timberlake, Jay-Z. The list is quite extensive, if you will. The documentary also includes a concert with Pharrell where he performs a new song, Piece by Piece, bang. The film takes a vibrant approach, emphasizing creativity and the notion of building something meaningful, much like building Lego blocks. See what they did there? Buildings. All right. Super cool. Top to bottom. And again, I found it to be very inspiring, and I hope that you all watch it and take something away. And I think it's great for all ages, but it's cool. And because there's a music backdrop, it is like a musical in a sense, and so many of the songs that you hear, you don't really appreciate the greatness that is. I mean, golly, your boy's got hits. So there it is. Piece by Piece. Hope you all enjoyed that. And again, every film in today's list a little bit different, right? Okay. Not a lot going on in the chat at the moment, but that is okay. Y'all ready for the next one? This was one that was mentioned, I think, in the last show, which was a couple weeks ago now, but I hadn't seen it yet. But I do believe at least one of y'all is gonna love it. I think we're all gonna love it. And if you have seen it, let me know. But Hopester, Chucha, Ant, I know for sure y'all are digging these. Chucha says, I would not have considered watching that until now. You see? That's what the show's all about. It's about being introduced to things in a way that you might go, I'll have to check that out. I'll say this. I don't typically love animation. I don't really love Pixar. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, but I don't. I don't watch anime tough. I don't watch cartoons. I just can't do it. I would much prefer to watch live action. And partly it's because I aspire to be an on-camera talent, and I just, it resonates with me more so. Like, I love voice acting too, but it's a different thing when I'm watching something. I don't know why. But when something is so creatively done, it isn't often that a documentary is animated where it's like someone's story and biography. And that was cool. And the Lego thing is unique in itself. Like, I've seen a Lego movie, and I thought the first one was so innovative that it was entertaining and fun, and there's real jokes in there, and it's good for adults and kids. But like Lego Batman, I'm not into. You see what I'm saying? Like, it once the novelty wears off for me, I'm kind of like over it. Like, I appreciate and respect it for what it was, but I'm over that. And you'll have to do something else. A lot of new Disney films I can't get into because, again, it's like I'm not of the same age demographic. But this one, first of all, I love Pharrell. I love so many of the artists he collaborates with. I was curious about his story, didn't know what to expect. And I thought the Lego thing. Plus, Pharrell is such a fashion icon and artistic individual in so many ways that I knew that it was going to be profound And it was. And it was inspiring for so many reasons. So let me leave you with that. Check it out. Yeah, Hope, Chucha, let's go see it. Y'all both should do that. Hand claps one more time for that. Ant says, should watch his Ancestry episodes with Henry Louis Gates. Dang, I don't even know what that is, but that sounds fascinating. Thank you for that, Edward Rising. Putting me on the game for show. So hand claps for you. Ancestry. Is that an online series, or can I find that somewhere? I'm believe it or not, I'm curious. Chucha says, let's go. Siri. I said serious. Not talking to you, sweetheart. She's going to be acting up in a little bit because, ladies and gentlemen, coming up very soon, The Witcher. We do a live reading of The Witcher on the show. Stay tuned. We do have a couple more movies. It is a mega movie review kind of day. Edward Rising says, celebs for the most part sit down with an extensive look into their roots. Cool. They cry 88% of the time. That stuff gets to me. Oh. It sounds fascinating. Oh, it's PBS. Shout out to everybody in the chat's contributing. Love it, love it, love it. I haven't seen this, so I'm now curious. But thank you so much for putting me on the game. Ladies and gentlemen, putting you on the game. Ant says, Pharrell's got like millions and millions of views. Probably a good one then, huh?
We testing the game. Oh, yeah.
There's another game reference. Ant, testing the game, name of the show. There's a theme here. Are you with me? I guess Game Changers. Now I'm getting it. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're going to communicate to me. Oh, that's the wrong way. It's beep, beep, rewind. I hope you all have much to contribute in the chat when I throw up this next title, because I'm sure you've all seen it. Ant says, he got game. Shout out to Denzel one time. Chucha says, I said, let's go to Hope, and I'm going to the movies. I knew what you meant, sweetheart. I don't think Piece by Piece is still in theaters, though I could be wrong. But y'all should go to the movies either way. Okay? As a matter of fact, hold that thought. You might want to go watch your pick of the week. But in all honesty, you're not going to want to. I'll tell you why when we get there. We still have 2 titles to go. Are y'all ready? This isn't a movies movie. And by that, I mean, you're not going to watch this one in theaters because I don't think you can. It's a Netflix joint. And it is Martha. Ladies and gentlemen, Martha Stewart. Come on. Now, when this was brought up on stream, see, I listened. I hadn't seen it. But then you all spoke, and I wanted to watch it. And shout out to Martha Stewart. I was riveted, quite frankly. And I'll tell you why. Hopester says, great show, as always. Gotta run. Aww. Have a great day, everyone. Hope, thank you so much for stopping by, for tuning in.
Thank you. Far too kind.
What's that diamond next to your name signify, girl?
Got a Superman Benz that I scored from Shaq with an old school caddy with the
Hope has left the chat. Dang. Thank you again. Hope you had a good time. Come on back. Tell your friends. Rewatch the VOD so you can at least see the monologue and the UAP. Wait for it. All right. Putting you on the game. Bang. Edward Rising says, shit, told you about it and I still haven't watched it. See that? Shame on you. Chucha says, loved Martha Stewart. Yeah. And says, Martha looking like Imogen Poots there. Imogen Poots? I don't know what that is. How about this though? That poster is not the one that I see out here in Norway. And I've told you all this before. Netflix does interesting things with regards to their thumbnails and posters. They serve us all different ones. The one that I see, they got Martha looking like a baddie. She's like coming out the pool and she's, and in the doc, if you've seen it, they show that picture again. So you'll see it eventually. But what I like about it, look, shout out to Martha, whatever. But like, she's older Martha. She's not like here. I don't know how old she is, but that's a younger Martha Stewart, right? And she's looking good, whatever. But something about sultry Martha, I don't know. I like it. I'm here for it. Ant says, I literally tell you what it is right after LOL. You said yes, that's a name. All I see is Imogen Poots. I don't know what it is. Am I missing something? Sorry, man. Sometimes I'm talking, you're typing. It's a lot going on. I'm trying. Ryan's trying. Here we go. I'm trying to check out them home goods, if you know what I mean. Hey. Imogen Poots is a name. No, I got that. I got that it's a name. You said she's looking like one. What does that mean? Who is it? All right, I'm moving on. Bang. Martha Stewart. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a Netflix documentary. It says, God damn it. It's just funny. I don't know, man. Sometimes the jokes don't land. It's because you're not here. I can't hear you. You know what I mean? Fucking typing, texting. Mom, let me hear something in the chat from you, darling. Where's she at?
Choo-choo, 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 choo-choo.
Okay, Anthony, it's not a joke. Imogen Poots must be a woman, and you're suggesting that Martha literally looks like her. Okay, I get it. I don't know who it is, so it's less relevant for me, but it's cool. It's cool, man. Thank you for the feedback. Shit, Martha looking... It feels like a stoner moment, you know what I'm saying? Hits the blunt. Shit, Martha looking like Imogen Poots. That's a hell of a name. Try that. Martha looking like Imogen Poots. All right. Martha is a Netflix documentary that explores the life and legacy of Miss Martha Stewart. The iconic, and this is true, television personality, businesswoman, and lifestyle expert, ladies and gentlemen. The film delves into her rise to fame, the challenges that she has faced from both a personal and professional lens, and the impact that she has had on American culture. Through interviews, archival footage, and personal reflections, Martha provides an intimate look at the woman behind the empire, highlighting her resilience, reinvention, and the complexities of her public and private personas. Ladies and gentlemen, Martha Stewart, directed by R.J. Cutler. It was great. It really was. There were many things that I didn't know. Now look, I wasn't Martha's target audience for a long time. Now I think she speaks to everybody just about. Chucha says, Russ and Chucha are pretending to be Martha. That photo is young Martha. She was a model. Yep. And you know what I want to know?
I want to know who Russ is.
Come on.
I want him to show me.
Come on, I want to know who Russ is. Okay. Many things I didn't know. First of all, what people, I think before they see this, particularly younger people that weren't there, they don't realize, y'all ready? Martha Stewart was the OG original influencer. All right, you know how we have influencers today on Instagram, social media, etc.? Martha was that, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to the OG. Chucha says, Russ is doing a Bobby Flay making chili. That's cool. Bang. I gotta do it. And just because, dog. In my mind, Russ is in that kitchen like Come on, if you're not digging those sound bites, get out of the show. Those are so great. And
thank you. Far too kind.
You're dope, man. I want you to know that. I just want you to know that. Okay. Martha, it's good. Y'all gotta check it out. Martha, ladies and gentlemen, is a billionaire. Billy. Okay? She's dope. One of the things that I thought was cool was Martha Stewart as a brand. Now, ironically, I was around when so much of this was happening in the sense that I existed. But I wasn't a grown person for a lot of it, and so I wasn't really up on game. Plus, again, Martha Stewart never really resonated with Ryan Barber. I didn't read the magazines. I didn't buy her products. I didn't care about home decor and cooking and shit like that. Now I do. I'm more into those things. But growing up, I wasn't, and so none of this mattered to me. But the point is simply that the version of Martha Stewart that even someone who was not connected to it thought and had is quite different than the real Martha Stewart, in the sense of her marriage wasn't perfect. Now, as a business person, I think women get a tough rap. And we've talked about this on the show too. Like, a man and a woman in the same like CEO or authoritative position, they get looked at quite differently. Like, if a man is assertive and hard on his employees or knows what he wants, he's seen as like the epitome of what that role ought to be. Whereas if a woman does those same things, she's kind of seen as a bitch, you know what I'm saying? Or someone, you know, that shouldn't be acting like that. I disagree with that. So it was cool to see Martha be about it, you know what I mean? And I respect that. And then no spoilers, if you don't know, you should know, Martha goes to prison. Now, the version of prison that Martha goes to is not the same as a real prison in my mind. But that was cool too, you know, to see her, and she comes out of it, and in some ways, maybe the brand gets stronger after that. So it was really enlightening, it was really cool. I certainly study, admire, follow, respect people that achieve a level of success, because of course you should. So hand claps. I think you should study people that reach these echelons and figure out, you know, how did they do that and what can I learn and take from. So Martha Stewart, ladies and gentlemen. Chucha says she is dope and smokes dope with Snoop. Yes, she did. She does. Something else that's really cool is she's a farmer. You know, she grows crops and plants. Now, again, she's really about it. And like, don't fuck up Martha's gardens, okay? If you fuck with Martha's gardens, she coming for your neck. So you better respect her gangster, all right? That's all I'm gonna say. Chucha says, you don't even like it when I did Martha Stewart and Oprah recipes. That's fair. And that's because you would be trying like wild stuff, Mom. Her name is Chucha. No, I didn't always like the recipes, sadly. But I do. I respect Martha's hustle. Here we go. Ant says, people say that almost every job I ever had, a woman was the head honcho. Bang. And for me too. For much of my careers, if you could call them that, women were my superiors, and certainly the senior directors or senior management. So I have no problems with it. That's probably what my lens is. But again, I have witnessed and observed people, I think in general, make comments about women in an authoritative position. Whereas if a man was seated in that same position, they wouldn't say the same things. You know what I mean? It's like a double standard. And I just don't dig that so much. But anyway, I digress. It wasn't supposed to be that complicated or deep.
That's what she said.
It's really all about Martha. If you haven't seen the doc, I encourage it. It was entertaining. It was fun. I wanted to watch. I wanted to finish it. Shout out to Martha Stewart, ladies and gentlemen. It's available now on Netflix. Hold on one second. Anthony sent me an image of Imogen Poots. Shout out to you one time, man. Bang. I still don't know who that is, and I just saw her photo. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a mega movie review. We are down to just 2 more movies. I had a hard time figuring out which title I wanted to be your pick of the week. I'm going to explain. In my mind, the pick of the week needs to be the one that Ryan loved the most, right? It's his pick of the week. And probably it's the one that I would encourage you to watch the most. And I was torn. I'm still somewhat torn. I'm going to tell you that your pick of the week and this next film are both great in their own rightful respects, but they are very, very different. So when we get to the pick of the week, I will help defend why it is the pick of the week, though I don't have to. It's great. It stands on its own. I mean, it's fine. I'm not overcomplicating this. I think what I'm really trying to do is communicate to you how I feel about this next title. Because before I saw the pick of the week, this was definitely going to be your pick of the week, and primarily because it is not a genre that Ryan watches a lot of. So, ladies and gentlemen, coming up next is Longlegs. Oh, showed it to you twice. I meant to hit the reverb, hit the other thing. Longlegs. Oh, I'm gonna do it in the movie preview guy voice. Got to. You ready?
In pursuit of a serial killer, an FBI agent uncovers a series of occult clues that she must use to solve and end his terrifying killing spree.
Pretty good? I could have done that better. I didn't rehearse that, sadly, but that's okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Longlegs, starring, forgive my mispronunciation, Micah Monroe, Nicolas Cage, and Blair Underwood. Directed and written by Osgood Perkins. I liked it. Okay, now is it a scary movie? Not so scary. What is it, Mike? Tell him. It's like a horror thriller, if I could say it that way. Now, I don't want to say too much. Notice how I just gave you the log line, where normally I go in and break it down a little further. That's because I want you all to go into this film, if you haven't seen it, in the same way that I did, which was to say, not knowing what to expect. He's not here, but shout out to Shadow 1311 one time. What do we call him? Fede saw this and he was like, I don't think you're gonna like it, bro. He was like, it's weird. It's weird. And I was like, weird how? Like, weird? He was like, I don't know, man. It was funny at the time. So shout out to you, Shadow. We miss you, bro. It's a little spooky. It's a little kooky. You gotta check it out for yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Longlegs. I mean, it's at the top of my list this week, and I hope that says something, okay? Now, all the titles we've run through. Now, let me defend this just a second. Every movie we've gone through this week, first of all, arguably good. Doesn't always work out that way, but these have all arguably been good in a variety of ways. They've also been a little unique in their own right. From Martha Stewart's Netflix documentary to Pharrell Williams' Lego biopic, we've had thrillers, we've had bad boy action adventure, we've had some lighthearted humor with the Aubrey Plaza joint, Megalopolis, and it's kind of funny fiction. So here's a horror thriller joint, and it's pretty good. That's all I'll say. That's all I can say. No love in the chat. I'm getting this. It's fine. You probably haven't seen it. Who doesn't respect and like Nicolas Cage, okay? Now look, his career, it's been a little up and down.
That's what she said.
But ultimately, I think you gotta respect Nick Cage as an actor. And if you don't, shame on you. And I did say that there are many times in this show where things kind of connect. Francis Ford Coppola, okay? Megalopolis. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Chucha says, I never watch horror movies. Me neither, Mom. Me neither. I recommend it. I recommend you and Dad watch. Now, you're going to have the benefit of having your hubby right next to you, as a matter of fact.
I want to know who Rusty.
It gets better and better.
I want him to show me.
Put your lighters up. I want to know who Russ is. I want to keep going with that. God, Anthony, you came through. Pause on those two. Bang. I will tell you, there were a couple times when I was watching this where I had the blanket, and you look over and you're like, fuck, that bathroom is awfully dark right about now. I don't know if I could take hearing any kind of noises or anything like that. Let me just keep watching this film, figure out what happens. It wasn't like uberly scary, but it's you know what it is. Watch this.
It's hella creepy.
All right, I got to get off the soapbox because I don't want to say anything that could be a spoiler. Longlegs. I was trying to think, why the fuck did they call it that? I should have clipped this now. There's a moment where Nicolas Cage's character says, and I won't tell you who he's talking to, but he says, "I've got my long legs on today." And I thought, what? That's the name of the movie? You know the Leonardo DiCaprio where he points at the TV when he realizes, from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It was that moment, you recognize that's the name of the film. But it was so out of place. It felt like, I got my long legs on today. That's it. Chucha says, I'll give it a try in the middle of the day. You can watch it any time of day. It's cool. It's not like I said. Here's the good news. Sometimes you watch a scary movie and because of all like the gore and jump scares and all that shit, you go to bed with that on your mind. I don't think I felt that way, at least. So it's not like one that carries on with you, but it was definitely entertaining. And I would love to have dialogue with someone else. I did talk to Rico about it and we both shared so many of the same sentiments. Matter of fact, what's his name?
Federico.
Yeah. So we did talk about it, and I can't say too much, so I gotta be very careful what I say here. When you see it, let's talk. Back. And I wish Don Diego Joanrroa was here. I think he has seen this. This is a movie that he would love. He loves us. He likes like noir and dark themed films. I don't mean blaxploitation, but I'm saying, ironically, it was him that got Nosferatu as the movie preview game. And that's right up his alley. Pause. This too, I think, is right up his alley. I don't know if we've talked about it, but I would love to talk to you, Don Diego, if you get a chance. So anyway, Anthony, you should watch this with Veronica, Russ, Chucha. Y'all should watch this together. Hopester, watch it with Lloyd. Whatever. Anyone else tuning in, check it out. Longlegs, if you have seen it, let me know. That was almost your pick of the week. But it's not. We've got one more movie. Now, if you've seen the title of the show today, if you follow me on Twitter, or X, as it were. God, I don't know why it's X. God, I hate that. If you follow me on X, I told you what your movie pick of the week is. So it's not a secret. It's not a secret. And let me say this. Shout out to the homies one time. Yep, I had the privilege. As a matter of fact, I'm repping for the squad, baby. Bang. Some of my colleagues who I consider to be personal friends as well as. And shout out to those of you that didn't make it. We saw this last night. So I was kind of up late watching this movie last night. But I was really pleased to have seen it in theaters. Some films deserve the theatrical experience. And we have talked about that many times on this show. And certainly this film does. And so earlier I told you why I chose a pick of the week for one particular reason. Here it is. It's a blockbuster. Okay? If you don't know what a blockbuster means, it's epic. It's a movie that, if given the option, you got to see it in the theaters because it's worth it. You know what I'm saying? And you should know the title by now. If you don't, it's all good. Ladies and gentlemen, Chucha Barber, welcome to the show.
Her name is Chucha. She's getting lit up in the chat.
Absolutely. In fact, it is, ladies and gentlemen, Gladiator II. I'm going to give you the synopsis. Because it is your pick of the week, I thought to myself, I've got to show him the trailer. I mean, if nothing else, you got to see this thing. And then I'm going to tell you my opinions of the film. And this is why I had such a hard time making it the definitive pick of the week, but it does deserve it for so many reasons. From the cast, the acting, the cinematography, the special effects, the directing, the story itself, the franchise. Shout out to Gladiator II. Didn't tell you if I loved it or not. Hold that thought. So, we could do this one of two ways. Let's get some interaction going. Would you A, like me to tell you the synopsis and play the trailer after? Or B, throw up that gradient and let me see the trailer and then tell me about the film? I'll let you all decide, and while you're thinking about it, I'll hit you with this. Arrow Rising says, trailer! We can do that. That's a good song. All right. So let me do this. I'm going to take down the poster, and then I'm going to put up the gradient. Ladies and gentlemen, anytime you see that gradient on screen, it means you're about to see a movie trailer. And true to form, I hope you dig this. The trailer, you know, some of those times you see the trailer and you're like, man, that shit was better than the movie. This was one of those times for me. Here it comes.
It is an art, choosing gladiators. They're usually prisoners of war.
Shout out to Denzel one time. He does a great job.
For the glory of Rome.
Pedro Pascal.
You have something in you. Rage. Never let it go.
No, Anthony, I don't think I did, bro. Sorry. Tell me about it. Hold
Greatness. I own you now. But
hold that thought,
could I give you?
Because I got something for that too.
Your fury.
The general will do. Rome has taken everything from me. But I will have my vengeance.
There is plenty of pain waiting for you in the next life.
I didn't see your story.
I don't know why you are so greedy for it in this one.
Your Majesties.
This is your gladiator.
It is. I have the trust of the emperors. It will clear my path to the throne. You will be my instrument.
I will never be your instrument. In this life or the next.
Lucius, take your father's strength. His name was Maximus, and I see him in you.
Most fighters won't survive.
You must help him.
Strength among us! I don't fight for power. I fight to free Rome from men like them.
Your name will be forgotten!
I got just your order.
I must have power.
Everything is forgotten in time. Empires fall. So do emperors.
This is war!
Hell of a trailer, right? Tell me. It's basically the movie.
The odds are against you. The odds are always against me.
Ready to roll!
Gladiator II.
All right. Now check this out before I show you the trailer again. I did download this just because it was relevant and I love it so much. You ready? Here, let me turn this down just a little bit.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the armies of the North, general of the Felix Legions, loyal servant to the true emperor Marcus Aurelius, father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my vengeance. In this life or the next.
Cheer. Damn. Got so many pages of buttons I gotta cipher through. So I thought that was so relevant because you heard him say that kind of sort of. And so this happens throughout the film. But before we go further, let's recognize the chat. Didn't see your story. Ant says, I'll watch it at the house. No. It does deserve a theatrical experience. I said that. I meant that. You should check it out in theaters. I think it's in IMAX. I bet it's epic in the IMAX. We saw it in kind of a little theater, if I could say that. But it was cool because it was kind of intimate. Like we were all kind of together on this. And it was cool. I enjoyed it. And shout out again to them boys that I saw it with. Aww. The homies. But they're not here. So... Thanks for nothing. All right. Remix. That little part of the instrumental was 2 seconds of Undertaker intro. Shout out. And then Chucha says, not my favorite genre, but it seems like a culturally iconic film. Bang. And it is. It is. We're going to get into that in just a second. Chucha says, want to see it at the theater? You got to. You got to. Ant says, had it on a couple weeks ago. It holds up. You must mean the original. And I would bet you about it. I mean, I don't know if I could put it in a top 5, but maybe top 10. I think Gladiator 1 has to be in my top 10. I mean, it's pretty fucking epic. I'm in. I don't know what that means. I don't know if it's a joke or what it means. Oh, IMAX, I'm in. Sorry. I was like, where is he going with that? I thought it might have meant like I'm in, like I'm also gonna go, but maybe not. I get it now. You said you didn't see it in IMAX out there. I saw it in a smaller theater. I'm in. You get it. I get it now. We're on the same page. Sorry. Again, so much happening. Timing is everything when it comes to comedy. Okay. Now I'm going to give you the synopsis, and then I'm going to give you Ryan's honest opinion. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is your pick of the week. So take it all with a grain of salt. Gladiator II. Directed by Ridley Scott. Bang. It's the sequel to the 2000 epic Gladiator starring Russell Crowe. The story follows Lucius, the son of Maximus Decimus Meridius.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius.
Right? So it features Lucius, the son of Maximus, played by Russell Crowe in the first one, and Lucilla. So Lucius, named after his mama, Lucilla, played by Connie Nielsen. So she's back. She was in the original, and she's back. Now, spoiler alert, poor Connie. I didn't think she did a fantastic job. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Connie. I thought you did okay, but the acting was like... There's one scene in particular where she's having dialogue with Pedro Pascal, and it's very emotional, and I just thought to myself... This couldn't have been the best take of all of them because I wasn't believing it. It felt forced. I was like, does she even want to be in this movie? It was borderline bad for me and for that part. But I like Connie. I do like her. It just wasn't the best performance. Sorry, Connie. Okay. Chucha says, who was she in the original? She was the same character. She plays Lucilla. She's the love interest of Maximus later on. So... This no spoiler. This is the original we're talking about. Maximus has a wife and child, and they're slain, and that's why he says,
"My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the armies of the North.
Wait for it.
General of the Felix Legions, loyal servant to the true Emperor Marcus Aurelius.
Okay, there's that.
Father to a murdered son.
Ugh.
Husband to a murdered wife.
Okay, so his wife and child are murdered, and here's a fun fact." Just sidebars. Russell Crowe was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and they were having dialogue about the film because Joe's a fan and all that. And he describes how that scene was shot. The scene I'm referring to, again, this is the original, where his wife and slain son are hanging outside of like his villa when he ventures home finally. Now, when they're shooting it, they're not real bodies, obviously. It's just the feet of like a dummy, but they've been charred so as to give the impression that they've been burned and all of these things. Very grotesque, but impactful for the film. But as Russell Crowe was telling Joe Rogan, Ridley Scott didn't anticipate that he would be in this, like, close to the body, so to speak, because they're just feet, And so the way he wanted to shoot it was Russell Crowe like falls to his knees well in front of the bodies. But Russell says to him, no, man. He's like, I've journeyed this whole way. I have to get them. I have to get to them. I'm not going to fail them twice by not reaching them. So he makes a creative choice to go up to the feet, and then he gives such a passionate and powerful performance. And there's like mucus pouring out of his face, and he's crying. I mean, it's a fucking amazing acting performance by Russell Crowe. And then they yell cut, and then apparently Ridley Scott says, okay, in this next one, a little less mucus. But that's the cut that they chose for the film, and rightfully so. It was super passionate. Chucha says, in a recent interview, she said that she had a hard time keeping up with the vision of Ridley Scott. I think she had a hard time keeping up, period. Look, So you ask who it was. Once again, in the original, Connie Nielsen's character is, I think, the sister of the emperor after her father's death. And they allude to like them making love, which is kind of gross in their own way. But she has the son. And what you don't know in the original until like the close to the end of the movie is that he's actually the son of Maximus. So that's where this kid comes from. And in the first one, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, it's fucking the year 2000. Maximus dies in the Colosseum after he slays the emperor. And it's a wonderful way to end the movie. But then what you learn is that Rome is going to change, right? Because it's a shift in power. And so the mother, Lucilla, sends her son, who is the rightful prince of Rome, off. And that's how the movie ends. And so Gladiator II picks up right where the number one left off, and the kid is gone, and guess what? He's coming back. Now look, let me finish the synopsis and then I'll explain what I didn't love about it. So the story follows Lucius, the kid that I'm describing for you now, the son of Maximus and Lucilla. Lucius in this movie is portrayed by Paul Mescal, and he does a fantastic job. I liked him very much. And honestly, I didn't recognize him from many other things. At least it didn't jog my mind. But in this film, I liked him. You grow to like this character a lot, and probably both the character, but also the actor. I thought he did a fine job. It's a tough shoes to fill. Now, he's not playing Maximus, obviously, but he is playing the son of Maximus in a sense, and true to form, he kind of does. Now, shout out to the writing. I guess they do that for him, but I thought he did a good job. Long way of saying, Paul Mescal, you did great, man. Shout out. So, after Lucius's character, remember, he leaves Rome. His home, his now new home country, is invaded by the Roman army under General Marcus Acacius, who is played by Pedro Pascal, and Lucius becomes a gladiator seeking revenge against the invaders. The film explores his journey as a fighter in the arena, battling not just for survival, but also as a larger plot to overthrow the ruling emperors, as a matter of fact, played by, I don't have their names here, but Geta and Caracalla are the name. They're twins, as a matter of fact. So this is probably historically accurate. Rome was once run by a set of twins who both were the emperor, and then that's kind of a fun, I don't know, dichotomy, if you will. The film features a star-studded cast, including Pedro Pascal, Joseph Quinn, Denzel Washington, and Fred Hachinger, I think. Bang. Denzel is the star of this film. All right, he does great, and kind of like Tom Cruise, you'd be hard-pressed to name a bad movie that Denzel has been in. They're not all epic blockbusters like TC, but I think Denzel is an amazing actor in so many ways. Better than TC, as a matter of fact, because he has stage chops. You know, he's dope. One of the things I like about Denzel a lot is in so many interviews you see, like, if he meets another actor and then they talk about working together, he's like, all right, see you at work. And it's so, of course it is. Like, for him, when he's on a film set, it's going to work. But it's such a different perspective than we all have in our normal lives, right? Like, we imagine being on a film set is like a whole thing. But if you've been doing movies for as long as he has, it's just another day at the office, essentially. So I dig that. All right. Y'all ready? This is Ryan's 2 cents. Probably give you 5 cents. And I know we're pushing 3 hours. I didn't think we would, but here we are. It's a mega movie review. Ant says, back in the day, you want to keep them bloodlines strong. I guess you did. That was the whole thing, and that's part of it. All right, look. See the movie, because it's epic. And it is Gladiator II. And Gladiator, the original, was such an epic, iconic film. I mean, honestly, probably in my top 10 all-time films. So let me say, I didn't think about that before the show, but probably. I think Russell Crowe, it's not his breakout performance, but it's probably his most iconic role. And I think Ridley Scott handled that back then. So, Gladiator. I don't know of any guy that I've ever met, respectfully, that has ever been like, no, I don't like Gladiator. We all fucking love it because there's something in it for us. I don't know what it is. Gladiator 2, look, I get it. They want to continue the story. That's cool. I mean, I guess it's worth a sequel. It's not the same film, but it's also kind of the same film. It's like, damn. I guess Chucha says testosterone is in it. Yeah. It has something for women too, I guess. But I would understand if more guys liked it than females. But I don't think it's that exactly. I think there's a lot that's to be said. But I don't know. Chucha says, yes, testosterone. Okay, it's not for you, is what I'm hearing, I guess. Certainly from a cinematic standpoint, you can dig it. I mean, it's artistically done. The original, I think, has less CGI. And one of the things I didn't love so much about this one is that there are a couple of moments where you can tell it's pretty CGI heavy. I won't tell you what it is, but if you've seen, I don't know if it was in the trailer that I just shown, but before I went into the film, I knew what to expect in the regard that I'm referring to in my mind. So I won't say too much because it's cool when you see it. My biggest gripe with this film is that it's all too fucking perfect in the sense that let's follow along, shall we? This kid gets exiled essentially from Rome to protect him because people want to kill him. So okay, he makes it on his own as a little kid. That's hard to believe in the first place. Like, you just get on a horse and you go riding and then you're okay for the rest of your life. You're just a little kid. Like, what? And somebody's gonna find you. But okay, let's accept that premise that he makes it out of Rome and he travels to Africa. I think it's Africa that he ends up in. Don't quote me on that, but that's in my mind. Okay. So he makes it. Starts a new life. Then the Roman army invades your homeland and I gotta do it, y'all. I mean, this is Ryan's show. Chucha says, men and women warm up to testosterone experiences. I don't know if that's a joke or you're making a point. Either way, I appreciate that, Chuch.
Her name is Chucha. She's getting lit up in the chat.
Anthony says, I could tell from the trailer it was bad CGI. It turns me off. Yeah, there are those moments. And again, this is why I was so torn in making it the pick of the week. Now look, it's an epic movie and it's it's big, it's a blockbuster, it's well done, it's Gladiator. I mean, it's all that shit. So it's epic. It deserves it. I want you to see it. But break it down, okay? And look, it's not a spoiler. I'm just saying this is what happens in the movie and like ask yourself, that's not real. You know what I mean? It's too fucking much. It's like they could have done something else, I feel like. But they gave us the remix. You know what I mean? The kid gets exiled. He goes somewhere else. And then the Roman army comes there. And so now he has reason to fight back. And now he's a slave, just like his daddy was. And now he's a gladiator, just like his daddy was. And then he's kicking ass like his daddy. Like, who trained this motherfucker? You know what I'm saying? Like, how did you become... At least Maximus was a fucking general of the Legionnaires, right? What were you, Max? Tell us one more time.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the armies of the North.
Commander of the armies of the North. Okay? Who is this kid? You were the Prince of Rome. You're out of there, buddy. I just think it's a lot. So, it's a remix, and then things happen that are very parallel to the original. And yet I get that one of the comments is how life was for well-to-do individuals in Rome at the time, you know? So you see this like jockeying for political position, and that's cool. But anyway, the original still stands heads and shoulders above this one, but this was cool. I enjoyed it. The homies and I, we all thought it was good, but we all had the same feelings about it. So I think most of you all will, if and when you see it. Do I think you should see it? Absolutely. Do I think you should spend a little money and see it in theaters? Absolutely. Is it a remix? Yeah. Is that cool? Kind of. I don't know. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Gladiator II. That's it. Ladies and gentlemen, that was your mega movie review. At least every title that we talked about today was pretty good. All right. And thank you so much, particularly to Arrow Rising and Chucha Barber.
Thank you for far too kind.
I know Russ is in the background somewhere. What's he doing?
I wanna know who Russ is. I want him to show me.
God, I love that. There he is. He's feeding the birds. I know you well enough to know that you're literally feeding the birds, but that's also a very cool. It's like dumps. You know what I'm saying? It's just such a cool thing to say. Hey man, I'm just out here feeding the birds. You know what I'm saying? I gotta do it. Fuck yeah, Dad. Love you, man. And shout out to Ever Rising one more time. And says, feeding the birds is perfect. Man, God, I love that shit. We should write a book of all, I don't know what these are, colloquialisms? What is it? Dad, you got some cool ones, man. Fuck, you're cool. All right. I hope you really dug the opening monologue. And if you missed that, please rewatch it because it's
Toss a coin to your witcher, oh valley of plenty.
Let's go. That's Chucha's way of saying I'm ready for the Witcher reading. Awesome, Mom. Well, we're going to do that. I was just encouraging anybody who's still watching to check out the intro if you missed it. It's where we're going to post it on social. Ant's going to tell me how a little while later. We did have a very cool put you on a game segment. We talked about the U.S. Congressional Hearing and UAPs. We had the movie preview game. Shout out to A&T one time. He is an 11-time champion today, ladies and gentlemen. That's pretty cool. Double digits. He says, I like how you were upset at first, but had no choice but to sing it. I know. It's so good. God, it's so good. And then we had a mega movie review. I mean, 8 titles. That's pretty cool. And what I loved is they're all pretty good. They're all pretty good. Hand claps. All right, so coming up next, we're going to change the scene, and then we're going to get into Chapter 2 of Book 2 of the Witcher series, Time of Contempt, and it is a pickup from where we left off. I'll give you the recap. Let's go on ahead and change it up, shall we? Bang. Yeah. Chucha's giving hand claps in the chat. I gotta do it.
Choo choo, choo choo, choo choo, choo choo.
I think she loves it even more than I do, and I love her for that. Aww. All right, and we like to change up the lights for this scene, so let's go on ahead and raise it up like the Undertaker would. And again, I love how things connect. Earlier, Anthony mentioned the Undertaker's theme song, so here it is, boy. Wait for it. You gotta rise your hand when it hits the organ, you know what I'm saying? Not bad. Not bad. I wish I had pyro in it, bitch. Let's get pyro one time. Cool. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The Witcher! And I forgot to change the category, so let me go on and do that. And this is book reading? No. Oh, living books? No. I think it's reading, writing. There it is. There it is. Bang. You all can't see what I'm doing, but I'm changing the Twitch category in the hope that someone might stumble across our live. And now that we're doing The Witcher, they might tune in. We'll see. Hand claps for that. Now look, a lot of us don't love the Witcher readings as much as Chucha and myself, which is sad. All right? But it's cool. Because I thought this show wasn't going to go 2 hours at the most. We're pushing 3 hours, ladies and gentlemen. Bang. And so it'll probably be a very short reading today. Chucha says, "Aw, don't be sad. It's cool." We're going to keep this thing going. All right? And look here. Above me, we have a subscription goal, a follower goal, and a bits goal. And one of the things that's really special about the Bits Goal is that we're so very close to reaching our first milestone objective of 100 bits. And I want to say thank you one more time to Shadow. I always want to call him by his real name because of the sound effect, but Shadow1311. I think he's definitely the #1 bit redeemer or donator, but he's the one that does that. So shout out to you, Rico, man.
Federico, thank you. Far too kind.
But it is something to say that we're so close to reaching 10 subscriptions or subscribers, so that's amazing. And the follower goal keeps going up. And shout out one more time to my guy Spion. He's our newest follower. And so, man, thank you so much for the support. I appreciate you, even though you're probably not watching the show right now. Aww. That's okay. So, just a very long way of saying thank you to everyone for your support and everything that you do to make the show great.
Thank you. Far too kind.
All right. The Witcher recap. So we are on book 2, hence season 2 of Testing the Game.
We testing the game. Oh, yeah.
When we started the show originally, we didn't really have any segments, and then we adopted live reading, and we just happened to choose The Witcher. It was at the bookstore, and we got that. And fortunately for us, there's a ton of books in the franchise, so we'll be able to do this for a long time. And I think that's cool. Having a theme, adopting Geralt as kind of our channel's mascot is all really special. So shout out to us. But it's certainly taking us a very long time to get through these books because we saved this part of the show to the end. And if you're already 3 hours in, and there's only a couple of us that love it. So we need to get more people that love the reading so much that we bump the reading up earlier in the show. We'll give that some consideration. I wouldn't mind starting the show with the reading one day, changing it up on them. Bang. We could do that. Let me know if that's something you'd like to try, Mom. Anthony's like, hell no. Don't do that. He's probably already gone. All right. And just because I have the opportunity to say it, Arrow Rising, we all look forward to the very next Anthony's part of the show.
I'm Anthony, he's Anthony, it's Anthony's part of the show.
Shit. All right, so if you've missed the readings, don't worry, we're going to catch up a little bit. We are on chapter 2, so I'm about to give you the Witcher recap, and I'll tell you what happened last time. So this is how we intro that.
Toss a coin.
You mentioned coin.
Witcher recap.
Yeah! All right, and I took these notes because I knew by the time we got to this part of the show, I'd have forgotten everything if I didn't. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen, chapter 2. Now, it doesn't have a title, which is kind of interesting. Let me double check that, because sometimes the author will title the chapters by giving them, like, foreshadowing. So, Time of Contempt, I forget what it was last time, but it was, I don't know, a decision between two evils, something like that, okay? It wasn't that, but you get it. Anyway, it's just chapter 2. So last we were together, Yennefer, we haven't seen her in a long time. Welcome back. And if you don't know who these characters are, I don't know, Wikipedia is your friend? I don't have time for all this. Anyway, Yennefer is preparing Ciri, Princess Ciri of Cintra, to take her to the Sorceress's Conclave on the island of Thanedd. That's pretty cool. Future me, I'm talking to you now. You might want to download some cool Witcher sounds like swords and magic. I don't know, that would be epic. Okay, gunshots don't really work in this fantasy, okay? So, Yennefer is preparing Ciri to go to the Sorcerer's Conclave in the island or on the island of Thanedd. Their reunion is marked by tension and unspoken feelings as Yennefer takes charge of Ciri and her education in magic and diplomacy. Ciri, meanwhile, is struggling with the conflicting expectations placed upon, no D at the end of that, pause, placed upon her as a child of destiny, Geralt's ward, and a young sorceress in training. The chapter sets the stage for the political intrigue. What's wrong with me? Chapter 2 sets the stage for political intrigue and personal conflicts that will likely unfold when we get to Thanedd. That's it.
That was your Witcher recap.
You mentioned coin.
Your Witcher recap.
Good call, Mom. The name was used in the book, I'm pretty sure, before Apple adopted it, but they do spell it differently. I think you spelled it the way Apple does, and in the book, it's with a C. Like Chucha.
Her name is Chucha. She's getting lit up in the chat.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So that's basically it. We're going to pick up the reading right where we left off last week, if I can find a place. Part of the problem is my bookmark only marks the page. It doesn't tell me where I might have left off. So sometimes we go back to go forward. No shame in the game. It seems we met a dwarf. It has been a couple of weeks for me as well, so I forgot some of it. I thought I gave a decent recap, though. Hand claps for us. I mean, that was pretty good, right? Pretty good. Something about a donation here. Crops in the granaries. Oh, yeah, she's at the bank, remember? So Yennefer makes it to a bank, and the dwarves run the bank, and she's having dialogue with the banker, I guess. All right. We'll just pick it up wherever I want to. And ladies and gentlemen, on this show, we have a tradition where we toss a coin before we read.
Toss a coin to your Witcher, O Valley of Plenty, O Valley of Plenty, oh.
Here we go. And forgive any voice missteps. I don't often premeditate these things, so you're just going to get it as it comes out. And...
That's what she said.
Okay. Come on.
Don't forget about the dwarves, snorted Giancardi, or their banks. We'll try not to. Since we're on the subject, I'm all ears. I have some expenses, Molnar, and should I take something from my account at the Vivaldi Bank, someone is bound to draw attention, so...
I don't think I read that right.
I have some expenses, Molnar, and should I take something from my account at the Vivaldi Bank, someone is bound to drown again, so...
I guess that's why I didn't understand drown again. Sometimes when you take a break, you forget what's going on.
Yennefer, interrupted the dwarf. You have unlimited credit with me. The program in Vengerberg took place long ago. Perhaps you've forgotten, but I never will. None of the Giancardi family will forget. How much do you need? 1,500 Temerian orens, transferred to the branch of the
Tough words. I know. tough words.
Transferred to the branch of the Cian Bank in Ellender, in favor of the Temple of Melitel. Consider it done. A nice transfer. Donations to temples aren't taxed. What else? What are the annual fees for the school at Aretuza?
Ciri listened carefully. Not you, Siri.
This page is not set up.
1,200 Novigrad crowns, said Giancardi. And then you have to add the matriculation fee, around 200 for a new novice. It's bloody gone up. Everything has. They don't skimp on novices, though. They live like queens at Aretuza, and half the city lives off them. Tailors, shoemakers, confectioners, suppliers. I know. Pay 2,000 into the school's account, anonymously, with a note that it's the registration fee and payment of the annual fees for one novice.
The dwarf put down his quill, looked at Ciri, and smiled in an understanding. Ciri, pretending to leaf through the book, listened intently.
Will that be all, Yennefer? And 300 Novaground crowns for me, in cash. I'll need at least 3 dresses for the conclave at Thanedd. Why cash? I'll give you a banker's draft for 500. The prices of imported fabric have risen damnably, and you don't dress in wool or linen after all. And should you need anything, for yourself or for the future pupil at Aretusa, my shops and storehouses are at your disposal. Thank you. What interest rate shall we say? Interest? Said the dwarf, looking up. You paid the Giancardi family in advance, Yennefer, in Vegaborg. Let's talk no more about it. I don't like debts of this kind, Molnar. Neither do I. But I'm a merchant, a business dwarf. I know what an obligation is. I know its value. So I repeat, let's speak no more about it. You may consider the favors you've asked for of me sorted, and the favor you didn't ask about, too. Yennefer raised an eyebrow. A certain witcher I consider family, chuckled Giancardi, visited the city of Doraine recently. I was informed that he ran up a debt of 100 crowns with a moneylenderer there. They said moneylenderer works for me. I'll cancel the debt, Yennefer. The enchantress glanced at Ciri and made a sour grimace. Molnar, she said coldly, don't stick your fingers in a door with broken hinges. I doubt he still holds me dear, and if he learns about any debts being cancelled, he'll hate my guts. You know him, don't you? Honor is an obsession with him. Was he in Doraine a long time ago? Some 7 days ago. Then he was seen in Little Marsh. I'm informed he went from there to Hirondum, since he had a commission from the farmers there. Some kind of monster to kill, as usual. And, as usual, they'll be paying him peanuts for killing it. Yennefer's voice changed a little. Which, as usual, will barely cover the cost of medical treatment should he be mauled by a monster. Business as usual. If you really want to do something for me, Molnar, get involved. Contact the farmers from Hiderum and raise the bounty. Give him enough to live on. Business as usual, snorted Giancardi. And if he eventually finds out about it? Yennefer fixed her eyes on Ciri, who was watching and listening now, not even attempting to feign interest in Phaisalagas, the book. And from whom, she muttered, might he find out? Ciri lowered her gaze. The dwarf smiled meaningfully and stroked his beard. Will you be heading to... I don't know who's talking. Will you be heading towards Hirondum before setting off for Thanedd? Just by chance, of course. No, said the enchantress, turning away. I won't. Change the subject, Molnar. Giancardi stroked his beard again and looked at Ciri. She lowered her head, cleared her throat, and fidgeted in her chair. Quite, he said. Time to change the subject. But your charge is clearly bored by that book, and by our conversation. And my next topic will bore her even more, I suspect. The fate of the world. The fate of the dwarves of this world. The fate of their banks. What a boring subject for girls, for future graduates of Aretusa. Let her spread her wings a little, Yennefer. Let her walk around the city. Oh, yes, cried Ciri. The enchantress looked annoyed and was opening her mouth to protest, but suddenly changed tack. Ciri wasn't certain, but she suspected the faint wink that accompanied the banker's suggestion influenced her decision. Let the girl have a look at the wonders of the ancient city of Gorvelan, added Giancardi, smiling broadly. She deserves a little freedom before Aretusa. And we'll chat about certain issues of, personal nature. No, I'm not suggesting the girl goes alone, even though it's a perfectly safe city. I'll assign her a companion and a guardian, one of my younger clerks. Forgive me, Molnar, said Yennefer, ignoring the smile, but I'm not convinced that In the present times, and even in a safe city, the presence of a dwarf...
It didn't even occur to me, said Giancardi indignantly, to send her with a dwarf. The clerk I have in mind is the son of a respected merchant, every inch a human, if you'll excuse the expression. Did you think I only employ dwarves? Hey, Wilfi, summon Fabio and look lively.
Ciri, the enchantress, walked over to her, bending forward slightly. Make sure there's no funny business. Nothing I'll have to be ashamed of. And keep Shodom. Got it? Shodom.
Mom, let me get your help on this one. The word is SCHTUM. Keep stum. What is that? Probably low-key, quiet. I've just never read or seen this word, heard this word.
Make sure there's no funny business. Nothing I'll have to be ashamed of. And keep stum. Got it? Promise me you'll watch your words and deeds. Don't just nod. Promises are made aloud. I promise, Yennefer. And glance at the sun from time to time. You'll be back at moon... Oh, excuse me. And glance from the sun from time to time. You'll be back at noon, punctually. And should... No, I don't imagine anyone will recognize you. But should you notice someone observing you too intently...
The enchantress put her hand in her pocket and pulled out a small piece of chrysoprase. Chrysoprase. Don't know what that is either. The enchantress put her hand in her pocket and pulled out a small piece of chrysoprase, marked with runes, ground and polished into the shape of an hourglass.
Put that in your pouch and don't lose it, in case of emergencies. Do you recall the spell? Just use it discreetly. Activation emits a powerful echo, and the amulet transmits waves when it's in use. Should there be someone nearby who's sensitive to magic, you'll reveal yourself to them rather than remain hidden. Take this, should you wish to buy something. Thank you, ma'am.
Ciri put the amulet and the coins into her pouch and looked with interest at the boy who had rushed into the office. He was freckled, and his wavy chestnut hair fell onto a high collar of his gray clerk's uniform. Fabio Sachs, said Giancardi by way of introduction. The boy bowed courteously. What do you think? What do you think?
Oh, valley of plenty.
Is that a good place to stop for the day? We are over 3 hours. I realized we didn't do a lot of the reading, but it was cool. She says, oh, I loved it. Oh, you're so sweet, Mom. I love you for that. Her name is Chucha.
Her name is Chucha.
So, do you want me to keep reading, or do you want to pause here and we pick it up? It won't be next week, sadly. Your boy's traveling. I'll be in Bergen. But if you want me to keep going, sadly, Chapter 2, just like Chapter 1, is quite long. And therefore, I don't think we're going to get to like a hard stop. But if you're curious about what happens next, I can keep going. I thought it would be a good place to restart the reading, considering the introduction of this new character and whom is likely to be Ciri's companion. She says, it's just us. Let's pause. Where's Bergen? All right, cool. I'm going to switch up the scene and then we'll talk about that and then we'll say farewell. Okay? So here we go. Something's likely to play because I always forget to turn something off. But here's a little bit of magic coming at you.
Or is there discussion about biological?
I knew that was going to happen. All right, and let's change up the lights. Not bad. Bang. Where's Bergen? Bergen, I think, I should know this, but I don't. I think it's more to the south and maybe towards the coast. So there's that. Bergen. I've been told that it rains a lot in Bergen. Yeah, well, it's snowing here in Tromsø, so I don't know. I don't actually know what the weather or temperature is gonna be. I suspect cold. Okay, you could you could bet your bottom dollar on that. Probably snow, maybe a little bit of that, maybe a little rain, maybe some wind. So, but I've never been there. It is a place that I've always wanted to go since living in Norway because I have seen it come up on social media and various things, and it seems very pretty. And now I have the privilege of working with people who live there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to being in another Norwegian city that I've never been to. Shout out. Chucha says, you cut out. Is Bergen in Norway? Yes, it is, as a matter of fact. Sorry, I realize I didn't give a whole lot of context. So once more, the reason I'm traveling to Bergen is because that is where our company's Christmas party is going to be held this year. We have an office there. So the Norwegian company has 3 offices, one in Tromsø, where we're headquartered, and that's where I live, and that's in the north, and then one in Oslo, which is the capital city of Norway, and one in Bergen as well. So there you go. And just because I'm repping for H5P Group today, so represent. I love the purple and the hoodie, so shout out and shout out to the whole team and fam bam. Looking forward to us all being together next week. Crazy. Yeah. She's clued in. I'm glad. So there you go. So I won't be live streaming next week. And then check this out. Towards the end of December, your boy's coming home for Christmas. Yeah. So shout out to the whole Florida family. I'll be home in December. Can't wait to see you all. Love y'all. Not so excited about the traveling, mind you, but that's okay. It's a long way. That's all. And hopefully there'll be some good movies on the plane, all right? The I'm in, as Anthony said earlier. Judy says, yeah. Oh, yeah. The other reason I bring that up is because we'll probably be on a short hiatus during the time that I'm traveling, though I'm hopeful that we can record some podcasts. Come on. So I need you all to get ready because we need to consider that, and then we can figure out a cool way to share those either on the live stream or just online. But Chucha says, "Do you have a ticket?" I don't have a ticket, as a matter of fact, not yet. Here's the real reason. I found 2 separate flight itineraries, if I can call them that. And I was ready to pull the trigger on one, but when I went to check out, there was no checkout button. So that was a huge fail. Okay. That was through United. Shout out to United Airlines. Y'all failed. And then the other one, which I think I'm going to opt for, I have to contact the airline directly. And I just haven't had the chance to call them because that's going to take more than 15 minutes, I'm sure. And I've been working tirelessly. So, but I have it all queued up. And watch this. Normally, I would tell myself, oh, you don't want to wait. The prices are going to go up. Oh, no. But as it turns out, that's not the case. The prices have gone down. So I'm saving money somehow. I don't know how it's working out that way, but so it seems. But I'm not holding out for the savings. It's really a matter of timing. So I will. And just in the interest of telling myself as a reminder and anyone else who cares. So this coming week, I'm in Bergen. Then we'll be back, I hope, and we'll do a live stream that next weekend. And then at some point, I'm traveling to Florida, and then I'll be back. But then at some point, after the start of the new year, not right away, but very soon, maybe in February, I think I'll be going back to Canada. So I'm traveling again. And that was the reason why, sadly, I couldn't make Shadow 1311's birthday trip to Japan. I know, but shout out to him and his fam bam, my fam bam. They're going. What's his name?
Federico.
Yeah. So shout out to my guy. I hope you have an amazing adventure, bro. You're gonna fucking love it. Bang. and you're gonna take photos, and I'm gonna live vicariously through that. So awesome. But that's really the reason why I couldn't do Japan. Think about it. Traveling to the US, traveling home, or rather traveling to Japan, traveling home, traveling into Canada, it's all too much. It's just too much. So, but that's okay. And I meant to change the category. Damn it, Ryan. We're just talking. We're just chatting. All right, bang. Not that it matters. We're about to close the show, but we're not reading and writing anymore. That didn't take. So just chatting. Okay. So yeah. So I told you where Bergen was and why I'm going there. One more time, shout out to the whole squad and fam bam. Bam, bam, bam. Here's something else that's kind of fun. Now, it's a long way away. I think we're looking at September 2025. Mostly I'm looking at you, Ant. One of my homies at work, he's a fan of stand-up comedy, and I think we're going to have the privilege of seeing Jimmy Carr live in concert. He's going to be in Tromsø. So we talked about buying those tickets. It's pretty far in advance, as it were, but my colleague, his name is Lars. Shout out to you, Lars, one time. Lars, hey. He got to see Jimmy Carr last time he was here, and he didn't tell me. And I was like, bro, you didn't tell me you're going to the concert? Like, I would have loved to go with you. He was like, I'm sorry, man. It was cute. And so this time he told me, and so we're going to go. It's next September, but it'll be here before you know it. Ain't that the sad truth? All right. What a wonderful show we had today, ladies and gentlemen. Look, if you missed it, please rewatch at least the first 10 minutes just to get through the monologue. I hope you dug it. Shout out to Arrow Rising. Shout out to Arrow Rising one time. Full credit. My guy wrote those jokes, taught me how to say those jokes. He's mad that I didn't say them the way he wanted me to. He edited it. He added all the features. It's great. Thank you to him. He also created the new sound bites for Russ. Matter of fact, I want to know.
I want to know who Russ is.
Come on, baby.
I want him to show me.
That's pretty fucking good. Pretty good. Chucha's got hers. Rico's got his. There are some Easter eggs on this soundboard that I haven't had the opportunity to use because they're not here. I don't see y'all. It's like, damn, man. So if ever I see certain names, we got a couple of buttons that I haven't pressed yet.
That's what she said.
Okay? That one you hear all the time. The reason we were out for the last couple of weeks, I told y'all I got sick. It's influenza, you know what I mean? Went around. I think when the weather changes from not frozen to like really cold, I think you're just susceptible. And I've learned it's because you bundle up and then your body gets warm, and then I think it doesn't fight. I don't really know. I also think it's bacterial or viral. But I got sick. And as someone who prides themselves on taking more vitamins than a pharmacy every day, I'm a little mad about it. You know, I think, God, I'm healthy. I eat right. I train. I work out. I take these vitamins. I should never get sick, but I just don't think you can help it. And one of the things I think happens is it's the body's way of kind of defending those bacteria and virus. So I feel better than ever having been sick, if that makes sense. But it did knock me on my booty for a minute. You know what I mean? So I was out for the count there. But I got to watch a lot of movies, hence the Mega Movie Review. Mega Movie Review! And I hope you all enjoyed those. Hey, good picks. I encourage you to watch them. Check them out if you haven't seen them. Chucha says, what a wonderful show indeed. Welcome back. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And, you know, I don't love that I have to take a week off, and so we're going to have another break here, but it's cool. Hey, I gave you 3 hours and some change. Bang. So you can rewatch this if you're missing me. But, Mom, you know you can always call, baby, and I'll call you. I hope to take some photos while I'm in Bergen, and I'll post those, and you can check those out. But for everybody showing love online and the social, for your follows, for your subscription, thank you again.
Thank you.
And just because... All right, that's our subscription soundbite. Yeah, feels good. Look, season 2, we are 12 episodes in. That's pretty cool. 12 episodes into season 2. I see a lot of clips on social media about podcasters and people of particular influence that have reached a level of success. And one of the common themes that I hear quite often is that for the longest time they say they didn't have views, they didn't have followers, they didn't have listeners, but they just kept going. Okay? They didn't quit. And so we're definitely not going to quit. We have a motto on this show, and I'll play it for you. What's our motto, Sheldon?
You just keep getting better and better.
Absolutely. And I think we're living up to that. And to expound upon that, getting better and better doesn't mean the performance gets better and better, though I think in some respects we do. It's reps. You know, every time we do a show and I get to talk to you all for a couple hours, we're getting better at that. Like, one of the things that excites me is that even if this particular show never blows up, right? If it's just the intimate family that we have in this community and it maintains, I'm okay with that. I know. I mean, truthfully. But one of the things that I'm manifesting for myself is hosting other shows and co-hosting other shows. And certainly the practice that I'm getting from this show is going to translate very well when we get to those stages. And it's going to happen. And Mom, you and I have an amazing chemistry. And I think that I think one of the reasons why if I could say it this way, it's going to sound wrong, but it's true. One of the reasons why I think I'm innately decent at this is because of you. And so thank you. And yeah, I'm hitting buttons over here because it's a lot of love. But I say that because I want us to continue our podcast endeavors, even if, again, it's not about listenership. I think that they're good. I often go back and listen to some of our old episodes. And I'm going to say this because I mean it. Anthony, if you're there, bro, the same goes for you. I think that it's a wonderful thing to team up with people who are also good at it. But if you have like a relationship and a connection and a chemistry, and naturally we all do, it's just so good. It's fucking good. And the feedback that I have received from this show quite often is that, you know, it's cool and you make it entertaining, but it's just you. And if you had someone to talk to and feed off of, and, you know, I wanted to say gather. I get that adds an element. You know, I'm just a talking head on the screen right now. Like, why does anybody give a shit? But if there was someone else who had something to contribute, or we were having a conversation about something, it's a lot. One of the things that I wanted to say earlier, and I just didn't because things happened and it just kept going, was when there's commentary and feedback in the chat and we're now having a dialogue and a conversation about something, it's so much greater than if I'm just talking. And I'm not saying that to ask you all to chat at this moment. I'm really just trying to communicate. The other thing that it does, and this is true, is that it gives me life. And I know, I mean it in the best of ways, because watch this. It takes so much to put the little nuances together. Like when I pull up a movie poster, which you probably don't realize, by the way, but I think it's the little things. Again, the motto is,
you just keep getting better and better.
I could just throw up the image and it just be the image, but it doesn't just come up. It slides up. I don't know if you've noticed that. And then when I take it away, it slides down. And I tweak. And look, I'm OCD, so I do a lot of extra shit, but all that extra shit takes time. What you might also not notice and appreciate is that there's a border around every one of those images, because rather than it just being static and stationary, I want to give it a little depth. So I add a shadow underneath it. Now, I've gotten really good at making the process more streamlined and quick. But when you have 8 movies to do, it all adds up. And then there's a synopsis for every movie. So it's not about, look, what goes into the show. It was about... I actually lost my fucking train of thought. What's happening here? I was communicating the time that it takes to put the show together, but it was really about when we're... Oh, I know exactly where I was going with that. It takes so much time to put all that shit together that by the time I finish that, I'm really already done. There have been a couple of episodes, you might know this, you might not, where we do the prep work the day before in advance. And so the morning of, it's just the show. So I get to come in and I'm just the talent. It's all ready. The producers have done their job and I'm just ready to go. That's a different vibe than when I put the show together and we've got new sound bites that Anthony sent me and a new clip that I have to upload. And look, I'm not trying to make it seem like I don't love the entire process. I do. And I think that if I didn't, we wouldn't do this show, because you gotta love it in order to do it as consistently. But I was a little tired. In fact, I had a headache today before the show started. And I just thought, man, this would be a great weekend to parlay. But I thought people have contributed. And I know that, my mom's going to be there, my dad's going to be there, Aunt's going to be there. Aunt Labs, love y'all. And even if no one else tunes in, I want to do it today. I'm excited. And so let's do it. But then we get started and you all start talking and we're now it's a show and we're having a conversation and I'm not tired at all anymore and we're live and it's lit. Dang. And that is the sentiment I was trying to get to. It was a very long way of getting there, but I painted you a picture. Before the show started today, I wasn't feeling this shit that much. And I was like, it was almost like a job. It was almost like work. And I was like, well, I gotta do it. So here we go. But then we're having a conversation and we're hanging out and we're chilling and it was just, it's awesome. So that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Far too kind.
I know, we got soft, Paul.
That's what she said.
At the end of the show here today. But it's important this all gets communicated. Now look, y'all might not even be there anymore and that's cool. I wouldn't fault you if you weren't. I'm gonna rewatch this. And sometimes it's important that I hear these things again and again, because it's going to motivate me to keep going. And what I'm really hoping, and I'm going to make it this way, I'm going to manifest it. I'm a big believer that you can do that. One day I'm going to look back and we're going to rewatch this episode and I'm going to clip this shit and we're going to have the viewing audience that we all want and expect. And it's going to be bigger than it's ever been, because we can't fail. We can't fail. We're not going to stop doing this. People dig it. I love when someone watches a clip or sees a part of it and they go, it was really good. Like the quality of it was really good. I don't know whose voice that was, but in my mind. And thank you. And again, it's a team effort. I give credit more than I take it. Those of you that contribute to the show, from the support to the comments to the subscriptions to the follows to the segments to the sound bites. I mean,
thank you.
That's what makes the show cool. But I hope you dig it. And look, I'm always interested in adding a segment or doing something that would be fun. I know that people dug the giveaways, even though nobody wanted to take the money really. But I thought that was so much fun, and there'll be more of those. I intend to give back. I want this to be a two-way street. I hope it's entertaining, and that's part of the reason why you might tune in. But I know you give of your time, and I know that you make donations, and so I hope to give it right back to you somehow. So stay tuned. We are on the road to 100 followers. Currently, we're sitting at 63. I don't know what we'll do along the way, but if we get to that milestone, we'll definitely do something to make that very special. And maybe we do something at 10 subscriptions. I don't know. But be thinking. If anybody has ideas or feedback, shoot me a DM, slide into the texts, whatever. Call me. But yeah. All right. None of that was premeditated. Didn't intend to get that deep on your pause. But again, when I rewatch this, those sentiments will be impactful. And so, future ride. This is kind of like talking to my old ass. You get it? It all comes full circle. Aubrey Plaza. And there are a couple of y'all, when I say y'all, I mean supporters, loved ones, friends, and family, that don't make your presence known in the chat, but you sometimes tune in and watch. And so thank you, because I know some of y'all are there too. And if you are rewatching this, whether it's on Twitch or YouTube, thank you again, because that's cool. And look, it's a live stream. It's cooler when people talk so that I can talk back, and now we're having conversation. It's not just me. But clearly, I don't mind just talking. I mean, this is like a live vlog where I'm not out and about. But rewatch it. Definitely rewatch that monologue. I don't know how we're going to post that. Arrow Rising, you'll have to tell me how. I'll call you. How about that? Poor Shadow 1311, he was working all day. Yeah. We got this for you though, bro.
Federico,
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the show. Testing the Game, Season 2.
We testing the game.
Oh yeah. Poor Shadow. I know, Mom. I know. But he'll be all right. He's going to have a great holiday, and then he's going to Yapon. Bang. If you're a new viewer and you haven't seen many of these, there's a soundbite that we play at the end of this, and it's spot on for Shadow today. It's from our favorite show, The Office. Ladies and gentlemen, this was a successful unveiling.
This was a successful unveiling.
Go back to work. Chucha says, loved it. You should be going with him. I know, Mom. I've already explained why I can't do that. And if you missed that, rewatch it. I'm going to Bergen, coming home. Going to Florida, coming home. Going to Canada, coming home. To add Japan in that mix, it's too much. It's too much. But they're going to have a great time, and I'm going to talk to him while he's there, I'm sure, and I'll see photos and videos. Hopefully we'll get his social media game up. Shout out. She said she didn't miss it. You know why, Mom? Because you're this.
Choo-choo, 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 choo-choo.
I miss you more, baby. I miss you more. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. I love y'all. Mean that from the bottom.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're far too kind.
I hope you have a great rest of your Saturday. Apparently, there's a women's soccer final happening later today. Shout out to O-Town. Keep me updated. I think the Hurricanes are playing one time. Don't know about the Seminoles. Poor Seminoles. I don't even want to get into all that collegiate football. Chucha says, go Canes. Bang. Shout out to you, girl. Don't know what's cracking tomorrow. I'll be going to the gym tomorrow. I've been training hard. I hope you all are staying consistent. Listen, stay healthy. Health is wealth. I was gonna say take your vitamins and do all that good shit. Just do what you gotta do to. Try that fucking tuna recipe for real. I have to post that on my social or something. But rewatch it and try Chucha's Dixie chili recipe as well. All right, her and Russ Barber doing that thing. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. I love y'all for real from the bottom, 100%. Thank you for all the support. Hope you have a great rest of your day and weekend. I'll miss you next week, but I'll be back soon. All right? Testing the game.
We testing the game. Oh, yeah.
Go!